All right, getting ready. What's good, y'all? Yes. I'm gonna turn my mic up a bit. Yes. Let's do a little bit more. Check. All right, connecting IG Live. IG, what's going on? Connecting, little microphone check. So let's get out of here. Let's get in here. And let's get this stream layer out of here. Yes, the sound is good. That's good to hear. Yo, that stream sticker thing is still on. I got to fix that real quick. IG, what's going on? Welcome to everyone. Just to let you guys know on IG, and I'll repeat that in a second, I might, throughout this live stream, show a couple of things on screen. You won't be able to see that on IG Live. So if you want to see what I do when I share my screen, and I see that I got to move the phone back a little bit because I'm blocking my other cam. Hold up. A little bit more. Yeah. So if you want to see what I show when I share my screen, you got to come check me out either on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or what else? I'm basically everywhere. I'm trying to get the stream to work on Twitter, but it's not working yet. No, Twitter somehow is not working yet. They have a Twitter Live. I'm trying to get that to work. I put in the stream URL, stream key, but it doesn't seem to work. But okay. I'm live on Mixcloud, I'm live on Twitch, I'm live on YouTube, and I'm live on Facebook. So you can just be on IG. That's perfectly fine as well. But like I said, we might be talking about some things, and I'll show some stuff on screen. If you want to see that, then you'll have to join us on one of these other platforms. If it's YouTube, you got to go to DJ TLM TV. All other platforms, it's DJ TLM. So Facebook.com/DJ TLM, Twitch.tv/DJ TLM, and Mixcloud.com/DJ TLM. So that's it. So STK Live, Share the Knowledge Live, my weekly Q&A session for DJs. You can ask me anything DJ related. We got a lot of people in the chat already, so salute to all of you. Let's do a quick run while we wait for the peeps to come on in. We got, who do we have over here? We got DJ Garv. We got DJ Oldie. We got DJ Leo. Lerny. Well, Sven is in the building as always. DJ on the ones and twos is here. AC1 Music is here. DJ Kylo is here. Who else do we have here? DJ Waves is here. Fatboy Hurst is here. Darnell is here. Jay is here. T. Edgar, what's going on? JS Rock is here. Nico the DJ is here. And Split Second, appreciate that follow. Collector Music is here. Collector Ski Music, what's up? DJ named Vess is here. And DJ KA is here. Now, we got a ton of people on IG as well. 12-inch T's in the building. Salute. I see Nighthawk. Who else is here? Jordan Marks. DJ Brownski. Calpy. Sorry, it's a little bit harder to read because I got to do that off the phone. I got a nice big screen here for all the other channels. RC3, appreciate you with that follow. It's a little bit harder to see, of course, on IG. DJ Melody was good. Ismo was good. And I missed a bunch of people before that. Moro G. Who else is here? Mixmaster. Mixmaster K, what's going on? Rick Koopman, what's going on? So, a lot of peeps in here. And I received a bunch of things. Let me actually pull that up real quick. I asked in advance on IG to send me some topics and questions. Now, this is live. You can ask me any question right now, of course, but also ask in advance if anyone had a topic or something they want to talk about. So for sure, we're going to be talking about Denon DJ's new release. that LS6000. I saw some questions about BeatSource releasing their own browser-based DJ app, so we can talk about that. And there was another question, so I'm going to make sure I have an Instagram window open here as well, so I can see those questions again, because I definitely did not memorize everything. So yes, we will get into the LS6000. I have not tested it. I've only seen the videos, so it's not like I can give you my full opinion. I did see some people say this, and I already see one person asking it here if this is a game changer. I don't see how this is a game changer, but I think it's a nice addition. Mixmaster G in the building. Salute, salute, salute. What up? Mixmaster, did you have a chance? You didn't test the LS already, did you? Let me know about that. Who else is here? I think I see Judy here. Sports team. So on IG, if I miss you, it just goes by real fast. So I'm sorry about not being able to shout everyone out. So we might get into that later. Oh, Big T Edgar, make sure you go to DJ TLM TV on YouTube, my channel, and check out my beats, bars, and phrases video. That's all about counting music. As far as I can tell from all of the comments I've received on that video, and I think it's one of my most viewed videos, people seem to really follow that explanation. So make sure you check that out. That should definitely help you out. Got DJ Armando in the building. What up, what up, what up? Oh yeah, so let me just pull up IG here so I can see if there's any more replies here. Oh no, don't do that now. Really? I have to do security code? Damn. Maybe I can do that in a second with my iPad. I can't touch the phone right now. It is what it is. Okay. But I'm going to wait a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes before we actually get into those topics. Yes. So yeah, Oldie, I'm on Instagram as well, so you can check me out there as well. The only difference is on IG, I'm just streaming through the phone, and of course I can answer questions. But anytime that I share a screen, you won't be able to see that on IG. That's the only thing. So for instance, I have my split screen right here, and if I show something on that split screen, you guys can see it. IG can't see it. That's all. DJ Kid, what up? So that's the thing. If you're on IG right now, you want to see what I show, make sure you check me out. You just make that switch right now. Go to YouTube, Facebook, Mixcloud, or Twitch. All are live right now. So let's see what's going on here. I see a couple of questions already. What a good sound from that microphone. Yeah, this is a nice mic. It's I mean, I have the cover on it right now so you can't see. It is my trusty pod mic. This changes the sound a little bit. Normally I don't have it on. I don't like this aesthetically, but it does even improve the sound a little bit more. So I'll leave it on for now. In Serato, for recording a set, it appears the time limit is 2 hours. How can I change the recording time? Oh, wow. Is that a fact? Ooh, I didn't even know that. I don't think I've ever recorded a long set in Serato. So I never noticed that. Is that true? Chat, anyone experience that? Do we know how to change that? So if someone in the chat knows, make sure you let that be known right now. Why do so many controllers / decks not support record box? I think because there are so many already by Pioneer that do support it, and I think they'd rather have you use one of those. I think that might be the case. Let's see. Let me get that browser back up, because I want that LS picture on screen already for a second. Wait a minute, why is that not showing now? What is happening? There you are. Okay. Are we still here? Is that my, I don't know. That might have been my battery saving on the phone. Let me plug it in. We don't want to lose that connection halfway through. There we go. Okay. All right. IG, welcome back in. I think it was the power saving on the phone that did that. What's my take on Serato, the 2.5 release? I mean, I haven't really gone through it. I've DJed with it, but I haven't used any additional features or noticed any changes yet. So it's stable and working for me. And of course, the addition, one of the most important things, being able to use phase without connecting to RCAs is that is super dope. That is super dope. That's something I really like about it. DJ Knowledge on Mixcloud, salute to you as well. Always good to see you there every time. Let's see. So that's one thing I knew. People wanted to go talk about that LS6000, and we'll get into that. And yes, Mixmaster G, I agree already. That's what I want to talk about. Your statement right there. As a standalone controller, it's too expensive. So let's give that a couple more minutes. Let's see. Serato Hot Cue Slicer pad still not working on my Mac. I have the DDJ SX2. My Mac has Big Sur update. Any information? I'm not the guy for that. Probably, if I have to guess, Mixmaster G is probably already in the chat answering that. I know he's really up to date when it comes to that. So maybe he's already talked about that. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying LS. It's the LC indeed. My bad. I don't know how I got that LS in my head because I know it's the LC. I've seen that. So yes, the LC 6000, and that makes sense because it is a layer controller indeed. All right, IG. What computer should I get for DJing? I mean, a lot of computers will work. Make sure you get something that has enough RAM, an SSD hard drive in there with plenty of space. If it's a laptop that you're going to carry around, make sure the build quality is up to par. For DJing, that's the most important part. Like a good processor, of course. So whatever you plan to use on your computer, make sure you just check what the recommended specifications are. And I mean, don't be fooled by people who tell you like you can only use Mac or you can only use this or that. That's just not the case. You can use plenty computers. I've DJed with Apple and with several Windows computers, and they all did the job perfectly fine. What's that name? See, I gotta move in for that phone. Hi to Live. I appreciate that. I still like that routine, that MJ routine. I mean, it's one of the few routines I've actually done because I just don't do a lot of routines. That's just not really my my thing. But that was fun to do. No gig since COVID hit. Life is hard out here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us had to deal with that. Some of us, including me, were fortunate that we also had other sources when it came to just our income. But I know plenty of people who just totally depended on that. And that was hard. Now, we are seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Actually, today here in the Netherlands is the first day that they lifted a couple of restrictions. So there's no more curfew. We had a curfew for a couple of months. That is now gone. And yeah, people have a little bit more liberties already. So slowly that will start to increase, hopefully, unless people mess up and all the numbers go up again. So we'll have to see what happens. But like, I think basically all DJs had to deal with that in the last year. Over on the Asian side, I do see more places are open. More people are getting their gigs back already. But for the rest of us, it's still like slow. This will stop moving in a second, by the way. I have it hanging from a strange type of thing right now. Big Ben, very soon. Well, tutorials, what kind of tutorials are you looking for? I do have a bunch of new vids on the way, but not tutorials yet. ID, what up? From Caracas. I see you. What? Nighthawk, maybe I missed your last one. I see you say we can DJ vertically and get more clients from this. Or did you mean virtually? Like streaming? Or did you mean vertically? Like we're always vertical when we're DJing, not horizontal. But I don't think you mean that. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, Kushpak Cash asking, what's your favorite cartoon? Not anime, doing a social experiment. Wow. I mean, that's not DJ related, but I mean, I like the question. Damn, I have to think though, man. I'll get back to you, hopefully, if I don't forget. Generating revenue as a DJ in these times, especially hip-hop DJs, with a question mark. So is a question, well, depending on where you are. So if you're in a place where we still hardly have any gigs, like real gigs, most of the times what I see some DJs do now is actually do paid streaming gigs. So for instance, they'll do a gig, either it's going to be like a private gig for a company or just a group of people, let's say over Zoom, keeping it private, or sometimes the DJ gets booked to play on another company's social platform. So on there, well, probably not Facebook page, that probably won't work, but that's what I see some people do. I also see some DJs charge for just their own live stream. So if people want to watch their live stream, they have to pay a fee. I think that's only going to work if you're one of the bigger DJs. I mean, that's a couple of things. The curfew in Kenya is 8 o'clock. No clubs and hotels are open. Yeah, so we had that curfew here. This is the first day that they lifted that curfew. That curfew was, at first it was 9 p.m. until the next morning, 4:30. Then it became 10 p.m. to 4:30. And now we're basically free to go as we wish. Are you still going to do beats? I still make beats. Yes, I do. Any news on new tractor gear? I don't know. Not that I've heard. If you're talking tractor DJ, I mean, no, not at all. And what's that? Set for music. Have you or are you planning to record a set from a cool open spot like a beach or a rooftop? Planning to do one of these myself soon. No, not really. That's funny. I was actually having a conversation the other day with someone because I see some DJs who are really making an effort to stream from special places. And in my opinion, I don't think it adds that much. I mean, it can look cool, but at the end of the day, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I still assume people are tuning into a live stream, a DJ live stream, for the music. And I think proof of that is some DJs have the most ridiculous or just ugly or basic backgrounds and a ton of people watching because they're dope DJs and they're playing a nice set. So yes, of course, it can look cool, but I'm not sure if it's going to add that much to the set. But then again, I do appreciate production value. So having a stream that looks nice, it adds a little something to it. But I wouldn't go out of my way to do it, especially if I have to bring everything. So some DJs will just go do sets, live stream sets for a company, and that company is taking care of everything. So they built an entire set. They have all of the streaming gear there. So all the DJ has to do is come over and play. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. But to pack all of my gear, so DJ gear, streaming gear, the whole nine, to go play on a beach, for instance, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if that's something I want to put all of my attention towards. Jam Easy, what up? What price should I do summer camp? I'm saying, what? What kind of summer camp are you talking about? And I have no idea, by the way. Mixmaster K, dope. Yeah, I need to do a beat like something like that again. I haven't done that for a long time. My typical gigs in the last years have mostly been 2-hour sets. Yeah. Sometimes 1-hour sets, especially if you're talking about festivals where they just want to they always want to plan 1,000 DJs, give each and every DJ an hour, then an hour. I actually prefer 2 hours. That gives you more time. So I'd rather do 2 than 1. But yeah, that's basically it. Not Ski or Not Skit 1. I appreciate that follow. I see you. Let's see. Aryono from Uganda. What up? Uganda in the building. Yes. Wildcard, I see you. Yeah, I am planning to do a webinar type of thing. That might just be over Zoom or something like that, indeed. Cleveland Terry in the building. What up, what up, what up? So yeah, we'll get into that LC and get into BeatSource with their browser-based DJ app as well. And let's see, you should donate some of your old DJ kits to me. I would like to live stream, but I can't afford the equipment. I only got my hard disk and my passion for DJing. Okay, so you don't have it. I can understand that, but why would that mean that I should donate gear to you? Yeah, I mean, you could always try. I mean, I really don't have any old DJ gear to give away, first off. So yeah, I mean, you can start DJing really cheap, just for starters. So if this is really something you want to do, you can even DJ on a phone. And yes, that's not the same as having a full set of gear there. But if you want to start somewhere, you can start with an app on a phone or a tablet. And there are controllers available that are really, really affordable. And even if you're in a situation where there's literally no money now, saving up for an entry-level controller is something anyone should be able to do, like most people. So I can't judge someone's situation. But if this is something you really want to do, you should go beyond asking people for old gear and put all of your effort into somehow raise a little bit of finances there. Mo Berry, what up? Good to see you. Okay, questions are flying by. Here, I have to scroll back a bit. I've been spending a lot of time here. And what's happening here? What's happening here? So IG, I got to step to the other side for a second to see what's going on here. DJ Knowledge on Mixcloud says it would be nice if Phase came out with a Phase head shell powered by the tone arm. That way you would not need to charge it. Wait. A Phase head shell? That way you don't need to charge it. You have to draw that out for me. Because if the Phase is on the head shell, if it's on the tone arm, how is it tracking the movement of the vinyl? The idea sounded funny, but I'm thinking technically how would that work? All right, let me scroll way back. And see what's happening here. How would you start a record box collection from the ground up for a multi-genre DJ? It's been messy before, but COVID got me thinking. just a collection. So you say record box, but we're talking about just your music collection, right? For a multi-genre DJ. But how do you mean from the ground up? I mean, I assume you already have music on a hard drive, or you just have music. And I'm not the right person to ask how to sort your music, because my situation is messy as well. It truly is. I mean, I don't have a simple answer for it, like organization. I mean, if you're multi-genre, I see DJs do a ton of different ways. Some DJs go at it like really, really thorough in a way that's like way too extensive for me, because they'll go genre and they'll go BPM and year. So they have so many folders and subfolders, and yeah, it wouldn't work for me. What I am planning is actually to start using Rekordbox more to actually sort my collection as well, by adding more tags to it. Tags that are more aimed at like the energy, the vibe, and you name it. So besides the normal things like genre, like I don't have like folders with BPM. I could just sort a folder or a playlist by BPM. I do go genre. I have also made folders that covered like a period, not like year. Some people have folders for each year. I did like a 10-year period. So I had like 80s to 90, or 80 to 90, 90 to 2000, 2000 to 2010. Did that for hip hop, did that for R&B. So some people will go all out with that. Like just really, I just don't have the time to do that yet. But I kind of like the things you can do with all the tags you can add with Rekordbox, and really go into like adding the extra tags. So all the tracks with the piano in there, add that piano tag, or the heavy bass, add that bass tag, warm up, prime time, you name it. So start working a lot more with tags, which will make it easier for me to find songs while I'm DJing, instead of having like a ton of folders. Would you consider becoming someone's producer? I'm new here looking for a producer. No, never consider that, because that's not me. I make beats. I've produced tracks. It's not my full-time thing, and I do that really on my own time. You would want to have someone who's really dedicated to working with you on a regular basis. So just from a time perspective, I couldn't see myself doing it. Also from a creative perspective, I don't know how well I would work with people. But it's not something that has ever crossed my mind before. So it's actually a cool question, but no. Would you say nowadays the fastest way to rise as a DJ is to make beats yourself? I'm in the house scene, not sure how this plays out in the hip hop scene. I mean, as far as I can tell, for years and years to go, it's been important. It's been important to produce. I've talked to people from different booking agencies. I was part of a booking agency on a roster for a while, and they also had house DJs, and they wouldn't even consider adding house DJs to their roster unless that DJ also produced and released music. So yes, it's different for hip hop than it is for house music. But even in hip hop, it can help. I've seen people do that as well. So it's a plus. In some scenes, it's probably a must. In other scenes, it's going to be a plus, because your music could reach people that your DJ sets aren't reaching now, and you could even build a fan base off that. And then you might also get booked to come play as a DJ like that. Let's see. All right, so yeah, so Knowledge says just a concept, a phase head shell powered by the tone arm with maybe a rubber ball bearing as a needle to track movement. Just a thought, trying to think forward. I don't know. I don't see that as an improvement compared to phase, because just imagine if you have a head shell or a tone arm, and you go to a club and something with one of the turntables tone arms is just internally messed up, and now your charging is not working, or things are not steady, and now the ball bearing, the rubber ball bearing is not tracking the movement correctly. I mean, phase as is, the transmitter is really catching the movement correctly and transmitting it. So I don't know. I mean, maybe could it be a thing that you could add like an extra like battery on top, something you could attach that would charge it? Like if they could add some kind of wireless charging and you could put a little battery pack on top of it. I mean, that would make more sense to me, but you still have you're not depending on any part of the turntable except for the fact that it needs to be able to spin and pitch. It would be so lovely if I could get all of these chats in one place. Big Tunes, what's going on? Because my apologies for all the people I'm not shouting out right now. My focus is going all over the place, and a lot is happening. So Spiffy, yeah, I've asked myself that question, and funny enough, I was talking about that with myself because, yes, I talk to myself quite often, a lot. Podcast is coming back real soon, like really soon. I was in my mind talking about that today because that was supposed to be a weekly thing. Below, everything good over here. Yes, indeed. Naveen, let me look at your question. From where do I download music for DJing? Please don't tell me Hype Edit, Beatport, DJ City. Okay, so you ask me a question and then you tell me what not to answer. So if you don't want me to answer by saying stuff like online stores like Beatport or DJ pools like DJ City, I don't know what to tell you. Or you want to hear something that I'm not gonna say, because you will never hear me advise you to go rip tracks from YouTube. Sorry, it's not happening. I mean, I don't know what your reasoning is for telling me not to tell you about stuff like Beatport or DJ City. But I feel, in my opinion, DJs nowadays are so blessed and you have it so good with all of those digital DJ pools you have out here. I mean, I have a wall of vinyl here. I used to have to pay 13 euros, over $15 for one 12-inch. And I bought doubles. So that's $30 to have one or two tracks. That will get you a monthly subscription to a DJ pool where you can download their entire archive. So if that's not what you want to hear and you're already telling me you won't rip from YouTube, I'm not exactly sure what type of answer you're looking for. Because you're asking me where you could download music. Well, you have online music stores, Beatport and BeatSource, for instance. And then you have DJ pools. I mean, I wish we would have stuff like that then. And I mean, for US peeps out there, I understand, like for you guys, 12 inches were way cheaper. First time I got to New York and I went to Beat Street and I saw those 12 inches for like $5, $6. I was like, yo, I can get 3 12s for the price of one here in Amsterdam. But still, that means that 6 12s or 5 to 6 12 inches in the States is the same price as like being able to pay for 1 month of a DJ pool. Yeah. Mulberry asked, did you get my host? I'm not sure. I actually don't have Twitch open right now. Let me see. Was that in the comments in the chat? I'm not sure. All right, so chat, for the people familiar with the Share the Knowledge Live, if you ask me a question and I haven't answered it, if we're like 20 minutes or 25 minutes further in the show, ask it again if I haven't answered. So don't ask the same question 5 minutes later, but if we're like 20 or 25 ahead, go ahead and just post it again, because I'll probably miss it because the chat is going crazy here, the restream chat with people from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch getting it in. Then I got my Mixcloud open, and IG is going at it as well, like crazy. I'm located in Amsterdam. And no, I do not do in-person lessons. So this is something I might actually do in the future. Most likely I will. A couple of years ago, I actually thought it was something I was going to do really soon. In-person lessons and one-on-one Skype lessons. And then I just thought to myself, like, that's not where my heart is at right now. My heart is really at making content, being busy in the way I'm busy now. And that's something I'll go into once I don't want to do a lot of this anymore. But for now, not at all. So the first thing happening is a DJ course, if we're talking about educational stuff besides the YouTube channel. But no in-person lessons at all right now. Yes, I'm using OBS. That's what I'm using right now. I'm going from OBS and I'm streaming to Restream. And from Restream, I'm going to Mixcloud, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And next to that GoPro right there, I have my phone and I'm doing IG Live as well. Because I can't connect IG through Restream. I wanted to use Yellow Duck, but Yellow Duck is not working for me. And I tried to stream to Twitter, but that's not working either with their broadcast feature. I have everything filled in Restream. I can choose Restream as a source with Twitter, but it's not getting there. So I don't know why. I have no idea what's going on there. I want to change laptops. How do I keep my crates on Rekordbox when changing laptops? So if I have to say now, you would have to have them in the same location on your new computer as you have them in your old computer. If that's how it works when you open Rekordbox on a new computer, I think it is. Or I think that's the logical first step, because the playlist you have in there in Rekordbox, your crates, they will know where to find those songs on your computer. So if you change the computer, I guess it has to have the same path. I've never done that before, but I assume that will be the way to go. This is why I normally always made my folders on my computer to be my playlists. So instead of just putting all my music into DJ software and making playlists / crates in the software, I would make actual folders. So on any computer I get to, those folders are on that computer, and I can just pull those folders straight into the DJ software, and I would never have to worry about that. So let's get to that first topic right now. That is the Denon Lc 6000. And again, for my people on IG, I'm sorry, you won't be able to see this. The rest of the people are seeing it on screen. Maybe you've already seen the picture, maybe not. This is what it is. And as Mixmaster G already pointed out, the LC stands for Layer Controller. So if you're not familiar with Denon DJ's latest products from their Prime series, they have media players. So you can compare them to what CDJs are for Pioneer. Denon DJ has their Prime series players. They had the SC 5000, and after that the SC 6000. They also have M versions, and the M stands for motorized. Those have a motorized platter. But the thing is, they're kind of comparable to CDJs, but they had some differences as well. They have more features. So the SC series, they have performance pads, just like controllers, that allow you to hit cue points and stuff like that. And they also had this dual layer feature, meaning that one player could actually play 2 tracks on a mixer. They have dual outputs. So you can have one SC player, and then you can have outputs going to channel 1 and 2 on a mixer, and you can control both layers, send both layers to your mixer. So if you had 2 SC players, you basically had 4 layers of music that you can play with. Now, I think a lot of DJs didn't use that feature a lot. I know I never used it because somehow I don't feel comfortable having one player control 2 different layers. It's not that hard. You just hit a button and then you switch layers, and now you're controlling the first layer. If you hit that button, then you're controlling the second layer. But I never really used it. Same thing on controllers. You had certain controllers that would have 4 channels, but you only have 2 jog wheels, so then you have to do the same thing. So this side is 1, 3, the other side is 2 and 4. I hardly ever used it. Now, Denon just released this LC, and it's a layer controller. And their main feature when you use it, like you use the Denon players, is you can have your SC player that has 2 layers in there, so you can load 2 songs into it. You control song 1 from that player, then you connect an LC, the LC 6000, to that SC, and you can use that LC to control the other layer inside that one player. So that was the first feature. That's how you could use it in a prime setup. So you could have, for instance, if you only have one SC5000 or one SC6000. By the way, for people who haven't seen it, let me just grab one. And when I say grab one, I mean grab an SC. I don't have that LC here. This is, so for the IG people, I have to move it back a little bit more. That's an SC 5000. So as you can see, it kind of has something similar to what you get with CDJs, but you just have a lot more going on overall on the player. So you can have one of those, and then one of those layer controllers, LC players, and then you still have a full setup. Or if you have 2 of those SC players, you add 2 of those LCs, then you have full 4-deck control. So okay, that's one feature. I think that's cool. I don't know. The price is, I believe, $699. I don't know if I would pay $700 to have a controller to control that extra layer, because I'm a simple DJ. I'm basically a 2-channel DJ. So for me, it wouldn't really be interesting. But that was not all. You can also use that LC to be an actual controller for DJ software like Serato, Virtual DJ, and Algorithm DJ. That's pretty cool, because normally when you're using DJ software and you want a controller, it's all about just the all-in-one controller. So most controllers are just a box with a mixer section in the middle and 2 jog wheels and all the player functions. So you have an all-in-one controller box. And that's cool. For some of you, maybe you prefer to have like your own mixer to use with DJ software instead of that controller mixer, but you still want to have the controller like players. So this is a separate player to control one of your decks in your DJ software. And it has a bunch of the features on there. It has the performance pads as well, so you can control all your cue points from there and so on. That's pretty cool as well. Mixmaster G already made a point. It's pretty expensive to be a controller for your DJ software, because you would need to buy 2 of these. So then we're talking about $1,400, and your mixer, if you have a mixer, or you have to buy a mixer separately, which will add on to the price. I mean, I don't know. I think in that case, I would rather just get like a DDJ 1000 for less, or the same amount. I think a bit less. Yeah. But I'm not sure. So I think it's cool. I'd like to try it out. I hear, or they tell me, that it's the same jog wheel as on the SC6000. I personally haven't tried that jog wheel. I was not the biggest fan of the jog wheels on the SC5000 compared to CDJ jog wheels. I prefer the mechanical jog wheel over the capacitive touch jog wheels. So I don't know. Some people are really, like I said, some people, I said it in the beginning, some people were talking about this like it's a game changer. I don't really see how. I think it's great to have this among the line of DJ controllers and players that you have out there. But for $700, if all it can do is control one deck in your DJ software, or just your DJ software, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, maybe it'll change my mind if I get a chance to play around with it and fully experience what it can do. But for now, I'm not sure. All right. What software do you use for DJing? Well, Serato, then Rekordbox and Algorithm DJ, and Traktor when I use my Traktor controller. So I have an S4 Mark III, the one with the motorized jog wheels. When I use that, I'm using it with Traktor. But Serato is number one at the moment. It has been for years. Rekordbox might become that once I start to use it to really go through my collection and start to use all the tags and stuff. And Algorithm DJ I use in a lot of occasions as well. Oh yeah, to go back on that, Philip Tan is saying that, and I saw a lot of people comment on that, that they would love to see a motorized version of the LC 6000. So the same way they have the SC players, that they made the motorized versions for that, that they want to do a motorized version of that LC. I don't know. I'm not sure. First off, the price will go up. Probably the price will have to go up. And if it's still only it only controls like one deck in your DJ software, I don't know. You have the Rain 12s for that. I don't know why I would prefer something like this over a Rain 12 in that case. I don't know. And I see Mixmaster G say, I think an M version would require a fair share of intelligence in order to make the platter spin and encode its movement. At that point, why not make it a full player? Yeah, that's my thing. Once you start to add so much stuff to it, because I already saw someone say like, hey, why doesn't it have like an RCA out? Because it's not a music player. It's only a controller. So once you start to add more features, then you're like, hey, then it should also have a screen. And then you basically have what they already have, an SC. So yeah. Oh, let's see. What's going on here? Checking to see some more questions. Oh, DJ Deep Bomber, I appreciate that. I always appreciate that. This is a lot of fun to do for me as well. I like just talking about DJing. I mean, look, normally this is what we would all do. Not all, like a lot of DJs would do after gigs. You know, you're standing either in the club or outside of the club. And I remember like a lot of times I would be standing in front of a club for like 3-4 more hours with some DJs, and you're talking music and tech and other stuff. So to me, this is basically that. I mean, I talk, but it's also about what happens in the chat. I see it happening even on IG, but a lot, of course, in here in the what I see in the Restream chat. Rob Sway, what up? So that's always fun to see. I see people answering each other's questions, helping each other out, and that's what I really like, because this is not about me, that I have to be doing all the talking. I mean, I'll do the talking on screen, but if someone sees someone ask a question and someone can help the other one out, go for it. Go for it. Do you have any tips for finding music? Looking for new tracks, but I haven't found stuff that works for me. How do you keep from being frustrated sifting through the dirt for the gold? I don't know. I don't really have a lot of problems with that, to be honest. So, for instance, I listen to music on for instance, Spotify. So Spotify knows how to notify me when they have new music that they feel would fit my needs. That works. Then yes, you do have the DJ pools or Beat Source, and you can check the new music. What I do, then you do have to sift through some stuff. But just the other day, so for instance, when was it? I think my Crates live stream 2 weeks ago. The day before I went on, I went to Beat Source, and I just started to look for a bunch of new R&B. No, sorry, DJ City. I started to look for some new R&B. I don't know. No, it wasn't even for a stream. I think it was this week. And I found a ton of tracks in the first half hour of listening. So, I mean, yes, there were a couple of tracks in there that were just not my thing or just not good, but I found a lot of good stuff as well. Same thing with hip hop. I can find a lot. And I mean, on one hand, algorithms on services like Spotify, they will steer you in a certain direction. But then again, if I choose a certain artist and I click on that artist and listen, a lot of times what they will point me towards really fits that same vibe. So if I know like I like a certain artist and I click on that, a lot of times it will send me towards other artists. Sometimes I already know the artist, sometimes I don't, and I've discovered like plenty of artists and tracks that I didn't know just by going through it like that. But anything you do will take time. George Mike, good to see you. Yeah, and like Vest says, you can also start by following labels and artists that you really like and see what artists they work with, to sometimes find new artists as well, because that is definitely something that can work. Let's see. Damn, the chat goes so fast. I missed a couple of questions. Have you ever had heat problems with USB-C hubs? I don't have a USB-C hub. I do see. Oh no, wait. I do have like one for the iPad. Does that get hot? I think that warms up a bit. I see Mixmaster G say that he has had that issue. They can get pretty warm under certain circumstances. So I think that can happen. All right. So next up, Gayla Official. I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else, but I can't check the DMs right now because I'm streaming from the phone. And if that's not towards me, all good. So 3D Video says, what's the best music pool for old school? So, okay, in my opinion, it's not a DJ pool. So if you're looking for a pool because you want to download the songs to have them on your own computer, then I don't have a good recommendation. I think the best option right now, if it's for DJing, I think BeatSource, and using BeatSource Link, gives you access to the most music. So BeatSource is a music store, online music store. You can buy songs, but they have the BeatSource Link subscription model. If you have that subscription, then you can play all of their music within your DJ software if you're using DJ software. So if you're not using DJ software, then this is not interesting for you. They have more music than the DJ pools. They just have a ton of music, old and new, and you can use all of it in your DJ software. So that's a recommendation for people DJing with it who don't necessarily need to have everything on their computer. When it comes to DJ pools, I mean, some have a little bit more old school, but I don't think there's any out there that really covers it that well. So just to piggyback off what I just said, let's talk about, yes, I like the Beat Junkies record pool. It is fire, but it's not like they have a ton of old school. I mean, as far as I remember. But they definitely have a nice selection. They have more old school than some other DJ pools. But you're not going to find the same amount of music as you can find on BeatSource. And yes, I've used DigiWax in the beginning. That was one of my first things when I started to check out DJ pools, because DigiWax was free. And I mean, I got some nice tracks up there. Quality wasn't always that great, but yes, I mean, I've used it. So I just want to stick on that subject for a second, BeatSource, and go into BeatSource DJ. Again, for the people on IG, you won't be able to see this. I'm sharing my screen right now. So what I'm looking at is BeatSource just released a public beta. So it's only a beta version of their own DJ app. And yes, for the people who can see my screen now, yes, you're actually seeing the tips, because this is the first time I'm opening the public beta. I had access to the private beta So I have seen the software. That was last week that I was on the beta, but now they've released the public beta, and I haven't seen that myself yet. So this is a cool new feature. It is a browser-based DJ app. And within that app, you have access to all of the music on BeatSource, just like you would have if you use BeatSource Link in other DJ software. Now, one thing, you need a BeatSource Link subscription to be able to use this DJ software. So otherwise, DJ app, because otherwise you won't be able to open it. I have BeatSource Link subscription, so I can open the app. If you're on their normal website, beatsource.com, you will see on the top they have playlist, genres, and then you see that DJ app. So that's where you can find it. All right, so yes, this is a full-fledged DJ app, so you can actually DJ with the app, but it's not something you download and install on your computer. It's browser-based, meaning you can get there from any computer. Using it in Chrome, that's what is recommended. And I have not tested this, but you can check out Cleveland Terry actually uploaded a video already, and I believe he's also shown how to use it with a controller, because you are able to connect controllers, but I don't know which controllers are working, which aren't working, and control this browser-based app. Now, I'm not going to use it like that. I might in the future. First off, this is a public beta, and this is like a first version, so that will most definitely improve as well. But the thing I like about it is this is a faster way for me to add songs to playlists compared to using the BeatSource website. And it also allows me to do some quick testing. So that's what I really like about it as well. So normally I would go to BeatSource, and for instance, coming Monday, my crates is, what week are we in now? Yeah, I did the vinyl edition. So next week will be the first Monday of the month, and that's going to be a BeatSource edition. I do that once a month. So for the people who missed out, 2 days ago, that was the last Monday of the month. That's when I do my vinyl edition of crates. Ton of fun. But coming Monday is the BeatSource edition. So I'll be looking at music on BeatSource to add to a playlist, so that I have a bunch of music in there. And besides that, I'll use some of their curated playlists. But normally, if I want to add something to a playlist, so for instance, let's say I have a song right here. I'm just going to pick whatever. I'm going to pick this song. If I want to add it to a playlist, I have to go in here, click on add. Then it'll show me all of my playlists like this. And then I have to say like, okay, put it in here and add. It's not a ton of trouble, but I have to do all of those steps. If I'm in the DJ software right here and I see a track I want to play, so for instance, I see a track right here, I can just say, hey, put it in here, bang, it's in there. I can just drag it straight in there. So that works faster compared to using the BeatSource website. Now, you still see all of the VIP crates. You still see their monthly picks. So you can still see all of that stuff, same way you see it on the website. But you just have all of your own playlists on the side like you would have it in DJ software. So that's pretty cool. And on BeatSource, you only have a player, so you can just listen to a song real quick. But in this case, you have DJ software with all of those features in there. I think I need to scroll up because I've missed out on IG. So again, my people on IG, my apologies if I missed you. So DJ Yukon, no. What I'm doing now, which you can't see, so BeatSource.com is just the store. Then they sell a subscription that is called BeatSource Link. If you have a subscription to BeatSource Link, then you can see all of the music from BeatSource in your DJ software, and it works with basically all DJ software except for Tractor. But it works with Rekordbox, it works with Serato, it works with Algorithm DJ, Virtual DJ, more, even more. So then you can just see it inside of your DJ software. If you have the BeatSource link subscription inside your DJ software, you just log in to BeatSource and then it shows. But in this case, this is an actual browser-based DJ app by BeatSource. So I'm now looking at a DJ app made by BeatSource, which also gives you access to all of their music. Now, I saw a quick question about Old School. Where was it? Or from Vinyl Touch. I heard it was illegal for pools to provide throwbacks as they are supposed to be promotion platforms for new music. Do you know if that's true? No, I don't think that is the reason. I just believe they need to have the license to be able to have it on the website, and most DJ pools actually don't have a lot of licenses, so most DJ pools aren't really doing it the correct way. So that's also a big difference when you compare to, for instance, BeatSource. They have all of those licenses, so that's why they can have the entire catalog from labels, and that's why they have brand new music, but they also have like super old albums. Like last week, when I play like Rick James, Mary Jane, that is old. And they don't just have that song, they have the albums and stuff like that. So they have the licenses to just have entire catalogs. And that's just not the case with a lot of DJ pools. Seeing as so many hip-hop DJs on Twitch are going back to their old school crates, boom bap, funk soul, do you think there might be more demand for that sound when bars and clubs reopen? That will be really dope. That's all I can say. That will be really dope. I like a lot of new stuff as well. But yeah, there's just something about that sound from that era. And I mean, we'll see. I mean, if a lot of people are tuning into those streams and liking it, then that might lead to them also wanting to now hear that more when they get back to like bars and venues. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Rumbe says, does anyone use Tidal in Serato? I have. Now I'm actually not doing it because I'm using BeatSource, and the fact that they have the curated playlists, that's just a real plus compared to Tidal. Music-wise, they both, of course, offer a ton of music, but I prefer that workflow. But yes, I have used Tidal in Serato as well. And before that, I was using Spotify with Algorithm DJ until Spotify decided to just stop providing that. Let's see. What is happening here? All right, for my IG people, I said the same thing last week. No video requests. I'm not bringing people into the video, into the stream. I might do something like that in the future, but that's not what I'm doing right now. There's already too much going on. I have too many screens open, too many questions happening. So salute to you, but it's not happening. And Vinyl Felon, I appreciate that. Yes. Let's see. Let's see. Let me scroll for a second. Let me see. Let me scroll. That's the thing. I see a bunch of internal conversations going on in the chat, so I want to make sure that I don't answer what's not being pointed towards me. A Sound says, I recently used the service Soundees, wasn't able to move tracks from Spotify to Tidal or BeatSource. Okay. Have you had this issue? No, that actually worked for me. The only thing that didn't work is, so for instance, I took one of my playlists from, I think it was Tidal, and I synced that with BeatSource, and it synced the playlist perfectly. The only thing it can't do is if a track that is on Tidal but it's not available on BeatSource, then it can't sync that track. But all of the songs that were available on BeatSource just showed up in my playlist. So yes, it worked for me. It worked for me. I haven't had that issue. Skojo, what up? Let's see. So you're new to DMX, and I have to assume that you're talking about lighting right now, right? And if that's the case, then I don't have tips yet, because that is something I really haven't gotten into yet. I have sound switch over here, but I don't have any lights yet. So it's something I'm totally not familiar with at the moment. So hi Jay, no, BeatSource is not like Tidal in the sense that Tidal is a streaming service and BeatSource sells music. So they sell tracks. So all of the music you see on BeatSource, you can just buy on BeatSource. Now, besides that, hi too, what's going on? Besides that, they have their BeatSource Link service subscription, and that allows you to play all their music in DJ software. So Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, all streaming services. Now, Apple, you can also buy music, but Spotify and Tidal streaming services, you can't buy their music. And on BeatSource, you can. All right. Let's see what's happening here. Juris Mike and Mixmaster G are in the midst of something, so I'm going to leave that for a sec. Fresh Boy, what up? I had to leave the live. What were your comments on Phase? I haven't commented on Phase yet, I think. So Fresh Boy, add it right now. What was the question about Phase? So I can get to that. In the meantime, Split Second says, how do you get over the grind when learning scratching? It becomes super frustrating when it just won't sound as it should. I don't know. I never had that issue. And not meaning that I never had issue with learning scratches, but I was just always having so much fun scratching that I would just be mixing and scratching all day. And I could just feel see the improvement. Like in the beginning, of course, when I try scratching, it's not working, like, damn, it's not working yet. But it never took me to any type of frustration level, to be honest. Joe Storm says, does BeatSource have 12-inch collections? Sometimes they have different versions of songs in there. And they also have instrumentals for certain songs. And they're also working on adding edits the same way you have edits in, for instance, the DJ City DJ pool. Skojo says, scratching is frustrating for me too. No, I never had that. I never had that. Okay, so let's see. Do you recommend getting it? Have you experienced any issues using it? Do you think it's a good transition from DJ needles? Okay, so for some DJs, Phase has been, since people were just talking about frustration, for some people, Phase has been frustrating because they had issues. And I've spoken to some DJs. I've also spoken to a lot of DJs that had no issues with Phase, and I'm one of those DJs. I've been using Phase for quite some time now, and it's worked basically perfect for me. Have I ever had like an issue? Only when I used it for a while, then I hadn't used it for a while. I opened it up again, and one of the transmitters didn't connect at first. And then I found out that if I just pressed the button for a couple of seconds, then it would connect again. That was the last of that. To me, it is such a game-changing piece of tech that really allowed me to not have to worry about the condition of turntables in clubs. Going to clubs. Now, I have my own needles, but even I have had it happen that my needles would break, and then I would have a backup needle, but that wasn't perfect either. Or sometimes the tone arms in clubs are just messed up on the turntables, or something in the RCA wiring is off, and then you don't get a good signal. Or the vinyl just got a little bit too dirty. Now your signal's not clear. All of those things just went away with phase. So for me, that's just great. I mean, sometimes all I have to do is like call in, like, okay, are the turntables still spinning? Cool. Then I'm basically good to go. So I absolutely love it. And it's worked great for me. And what I hear is every time they do an update, I see more people saying like, hey, my issues are solved. I still see some people that say that they're having issues. I just never had those issues. And Billy Bounce. So yes, we were talking about that, and I don't think there's a perfect DJ pool for that. So the one that probably has the most old school is probably Beat Junkies, I would have to say. But that's why we were talking about BeatSource as an alternative. But the only thing is with BeatSource, if you get their BeatSource link subscription, you don't own the songs. You don't have the songs on your computer. You're streaming the songs from their archive. So Styles Johnson, what I'm talking about now, yes. So BeatSource, if you have BeatSource link, if you have the subscription, you still use BeatSource within your own DJ software, but they just released their own browser-based app. So again, this is not an app you install on your computer. It's a browser-based DJ app, but it does function as a full DJ app. And yes, you can use certain controllers to control it, even though that's not perfect yet, but this is still a public beta. And again, for my people on IG, I'm showing it on my screen. Y'all can't see it. So if you want to see what I show during these Q&A sessions, you got to head over to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Mixcloud to come join us there. Godson, that's dope. Yeah, so you set the software to virtual DJ in the manager, but you... Oh, really? Okay, so for other people... Godzone was having issues with Serato integration, and now he set the software to virtual DJ and then opens up Serato and it works. So we're talking about phase, right? That's weird. Oh, okay. And your Fitbit was interfering with the signal. Okay. That's good to know. That's dope. That's good to know. So yeah, Fresh Boy, no doubt, no problem at all. Okay, so Philip Tan says every once in a while, phase in the wireless mode makes the waveform go backwards while the record is stationary. Okay. And Dwayne says, what are your top 3 to 5 favorite types of transition? I'm really, really basic. I'm like super basic when it comes to stuff like transitions. So I want to make sure the beats are matched so I can do my transition and make it sound right. And then I do just 2 basic things with the EQ. Like most of the times, either I'm bringing in the new song with everything full, like all the EQs are dead in the middle, and then as soon as I bring it in, I take out all of the bass, all of the low end on the song that was already there. So the new song comes in and straight away it gives you that full power. Or it's the other way around, and then I bring in a new track without bass. And if it's like an 8-bar transition, after 4 bars, I turn in that bass, take the low end out of the other one. So that's what I do with EQ most of the times. What I really like to do, and if you watch my live streams, you're going to see me do that a lot, is I'll bring in the new track. Most of the transitions are 8 bars. So I'll bring in, for hip hop R&B, that's what happens a lot of times. You got these 8 bars for your chorus. A lot of times 8-bar intros. That's going to blend well. So I'll start my transition. And after like 4 bars, I'll take the old song, hit the echo, take all the bass out, and start to scratch with a sound from the old track. And then I scratch for 4 bars, and then the new song continues. That's my favorite. That's only, that's the 3 transitions you'll hear me do the most. Like I said, I'm really basic. I hardly use effects. So the echo gets used. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of a high pass filter. after I EQ, most of the times that's it. Super basic. Any advice on playing long sets? Normally I play 2 to 3 hours, but I have a 5-hour set coming up. I suggest, if you have the time, to play a 5-hour set at home, just to feel how long 5 hours is. Now, is that perfect prep? No, of course not. But if you go out and you've never played 5 hours, you've only done 2 to 3 hours, which is okay, by the way, because a lot of DJs now only have experience doing like 1 hour sets. So if you do 1 hour sets and you got to do 5, you're basically screwed. So with 2 to 3 hours, you have at least a bit of an understanding that a set is not always going to be at like one high level. Because if you're doing a 3-hour set, you're still going to have to do a bit of changing that energy up. But it's good to experience how long the 5 hours is and try that at home. Try that 5-hour set. And if you're doing 5 hours, it's going to mean that you're going to either also do the warm-up and like prime time, or you're doing prime time and you're bringing it back down again. But you need to understand it's not going to be like 5 hours of blasting. Like 1 hour DJ sets a lot of times will be in a certain vibe and a certain energy. You can't do that if you're playing 5 hours. But make sure you know how that feels. Yeah. Let's see. Daniel, maybe you've mentioned it before, but before DJing, did you play any musical instruments? I played drums for 8 years. Yeah, actually, I think I mentioned it quite a lot. I drummed. I drummed before I started DJing. Now, I didn't drum for 6 years. I definitely did not play that long. I started drumming when I was 14. I think I started DJing when I was 16. But drumming helped so much. I had no teacher when it came to DJing, but I had a perfect understanding of rhythm and counting without even knowing it. So I didn't know the technical terms. I had no idea about beats, bars, phrases, none of that. None of that. But I could just feel what was rhythmically correct from drumming. It also helped me out with scratching, because with drumming, using 2 hands, doing different movements with both hands to combine and create something, that helped me out with scratching, because with a lot of the scratches, the platter hand and fader hand are not doing the same thing, but they're still doing it in a certain sync, same way we're doing it here, like with the hat and the snare or whatever you're doing. So it helped me out tremendously. But like I said, no one ever taught me how to do any of those techniques, but it just made sense to me. Like, okay, this is where I should start a new song, and that was the one, but it just made sense to me. DJ Knowledge on Mixcloud says, make sure to wear slides if you're going to DJ for 5 hours. I've never done that though, but yeah, that would be a good one. Let's see, Bashmouth, what up? I made a lot of remixes, but I stopped uploading on my social media platform because of being red flagged. What do I need to do to avoid copyrights? Well, you can't use acapellas that you don't own. I assume that if you're making remixes, you're taking a song by an artist and you're adding your own music to it. Well, if the artist's vocals are still in there, or if musical elements from that song are still in there, that's not yours, so you don't own the copyright. So if you want to avoid that, then it shouldn't be remixes, but it just should be totally your productions with just you, or just at least stuff you own. That's the only way you can truly get rid of that. And the Aloe, yes, I make my own beats. Those are the beats I use for my YouTube tutorials. That's the stuff I give away on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/DJ TLM. And also for certain productions for artists as well. So, yes. So, yeah, like you were saying here, Daniel, so you went into DJing and producing and through drums, and it helped with beats, bars, and phrases. Yeah, the coordination, timing, everything. Drumming is a killer foundation. That's what I noticed. Just helped me out a lot. And DJ named Vest says it's genetics. The Caribbean got that rhythm and groove. Yeah, so maybe there's a little bit of that in the genes as well, but the drumming, that did the most for me, for sure. And Skoljo, a 5-hour set doesn't need to be brutal. It really, I mean, if you're not used to it, if you only play like 1 hour sets, maybe 2 hours, or like Vest is saying 30-minute sets in the Netherlands, then it might sound crazy. If you've done them, then you know what it's about. Hype man Kelly Kell was good. Kelly Kell is also saying, like, I'm used to 5-hour sets, especially with weddings. Like, it's a different animal. I haven't played long sets in a really long time, and you'll start to see longer sets happening in my streams, because sometimes I do feel like, hey, I want to try out and go a little bit longer. But like I've done a lot of those 6-hour sets where you're being booked to play at a party, and you're the DJ. That's it. So that means you're playing from start to finish, and that would be from 10 to 4 or 11 to 5. So you're doing the entire 6 hours. I think the biggest challenge I had with that was bathroom breaks. At a certain point, like I could feel like, okay, I really need to go to the bathroom right now. So then you have to make sure you have a track that's long enough. And if the club is big, if it's a big venue, it might mean that the travel from the DJ booth to the bathroom could already be a couple of minutes. So you have to calculate, like, okay, where's the bathroom? How long will it take me to get there, do what I have to do, wash my hands, and get back? But yeah. That worked out. That was like my biggest issue. I did have some back issues until I started to work out my back, and then I had no problems with it, because at a certain point I did start to feel it in my lower back from just standing a long time, especially if the setup might be a little bit low, so you're slumped over. You'll start to feel that at a certain point. So there's some physical challenges if you're not used to it. That's why I said try a 5-hour set at home, so you at least know how long you're standing there. Let's see. What's happening here? DJ Kane says he used to have a dancehall record that lasted 15 minutes. I had one of those records too. What was the name again? I forgot, but it was like each side was like, I think like 8 or 9 minutes at least. So yes, I've had occasions where I just had to put that on because I knew I was going to need more than like 2-3 minutes. Clovey, yes, I have done beats for artists and produced those tracks as well, or did the beat and co-produced the track. And why I say it like that is because there's a difference between making beats and producing a song. So the artist I've been DJing for 23 years now is Brainpower. So we started in 98. I was DJing at that time. He was already MCing for years. And we started to do shows, and we're still doing shows now. And over the years, I have produced a bunch of songs for him and with him, where I make the beat, and then either I produce the song or we produce the song together. Let's see. So I hear a couple of people talking about... where is it? Oh, I lost it. Maybe we'll see it later. Let's see. Okay, people are talking about how quick DJ pools are. Yeah, that's going to be probably different per DJ pool. But again, like, not all DJs pools are doing it the legal way either. Jers Mike, having issues with my 12s and the form was no help at all. I was able to figure out how to use the 12s in Tractor, but keep bringing up errors. One started to hum because of no ground wire connect. Oh, wait. So we're talking about 1200s right here. Sorry, for a second I thought we were talking about just Rain 12s, but now we're talking about a hum and ground wire, so we're talking turntables. Okay. I actually don't know, but I think you were talking about that with your Rain 12s? Ground wire? But why would you need a ground wire for a controller? Or am I missing something here? I've never seen that or heard that. A ground wire for a controller. But why though? Everything is happening through USB. I think I'm missing something here. So still more requests coming in for live videos. I'm not bringing people in for the live video. My apologies. I'm not doing that. Maybe in the future I'll do a format where I'm going to do something with like adding guests. That will probably be like something like either through a Zoom thing or a prepared thing where I actually make an appointment like, hey, you're going to be in here right now. Because I mean, it is cool and it is something we can add. The only thing now is like, only IG could see that. All of the other platforms can't see that right now. We'll see. DJ Smooth, what up? Adding turntables requires ground on a controller. Yeah, I understand that, but in this case, he's talking about Rain 12s, and Rain 12s are just controllers, so there's no turntables in play here. So if it's just those controllers, then you shouldn't need a ground wire. Like grounding is really for turntables, but not for a controller. Oh, to use Tractor, it wouldn't allow me to use USB, and I had to use RCA. Okay. Really? Well, hold up. So, Jers Mike, just for a sec. Am I missing something here? Or does the Mark II have RCA? And am I forgetting that? Oh, that's the Mark II probably, right? I don't know, because the Mark I doesn't have RCA. I really had to go back and check, like, wait a minute. RCA? The one, what's happening? All right, all good. Okay, so the Mark II has RCA. I didn't know that, and I don't understand that. What am I missing, guys? Why would the controller have RCA? Can the Mark II send out music on its own? I'm lost right now. I have to look that up. So, George Mike, that means I'm no help to you right now because I did not know that. So DJ Smooth is like I have the Rain 12 Mark I. It only has a USB connection, nothing else. So the Mark II has more. I just still don't understand. Okay, so the Mark II sends a time code signal. So that's what. Yeah, I remember now. Like people were switching between using it in HID or time code mode or something like that. At first, I didn't quite catch on why they were saying that, but I guess I understand what they're talking about now. Got you. Okay. Yeah. But still, if it needs to be grounded, then it should have a ground connection or a ground connector. If it doesn't have that, yeah. So yeah, I don't know how I missed out on that, but I have to be honest. In that last year, I haven't paid that much attention because I haven't been able to try stuff out myself. So sometimes you'll look over stuff like that. DJ Promo TV, Easy Promo TV, what up? What's going on? I appreciate that super chat. Much love. Let's see, Technics Mark II, the SL1200s versus the Mark 7. Which is best for playing real vinyl, not DVS? Ooh. Wow. I've never used the Mark 7, so I don't know stat-wise, like spec-wise, what is different on that. Wait a minute. What is it showing me? What is that showing me? All right, let me see. I need to see this for a second. I mean, I understand there's like, they make changes with every edition, but so on one end, I would have to assume that a Mark 7 would be an improved version that will be better. But I've not heard a lot of people talk about it. And price-wise, I don't know either. The thing with the Mark II, though, is you would have to compare like a new Mark II to a Mark 7. And are you able to still find a new unused Mark II? Because with a lot of those 1200 Mark IIs, we're talking about 12s that have been out for I don't know how many years that people might have used them, even if they took care of them. They're not going to be new. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, they also made that new hi-fi table. I know about that one, but that's not the Mark 7, right? The Mark 7 is just the one we're seeing right here on screen right now. So I don't know. Like that's the one thing. I don't know if you're able to get like an unused Mark II. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of difference in sound quality. Now, of course, your needle also matters. So if you're going to be just playing vinyl, not DJing, make sure you get just good needles for that. But like some people in the chat are saying as well, there's not that many differences, I believe. So yeah. That's all I can see now. All right, let's get that chat back on screen. Okay, let's see. There's an aux and a phono CD, and this is on the back of the 72 Mark II. There's no other option to connect to. All right, I'm going to leave that up to y'all in that chat. All right, who's that now? All right, still coming in with the video request. You can keep trying, but I'm not doing it. Smooth as, yeah, or Smooth AZ. I don't know what it is actually. I haven't tried it. It looks dope. I want to try it, but I haven't tried it yet. So I'm looking forward to trying that one day. But I mean, it looks dope. Like, I'm always a fan of the motorized platters, so that's one thing which already made me like it without even trying it. The format looks dope, the size, and a good amount of features on it as well. So I want to try that out for sure. Fungi says, could you please explain to me how I can play a scratch beat without having the Serato software interface? I'm using a Pioneer 707. Hey, that's a dope mixer, man. An Audio-Technica 140 LP. All right, so first off, a scratch beat. What is a scratch beat? because you can scratch over any beat. So that's it for starters. So you're talking about just using your normal turntables and a mixer without DVS, so without DJ software. Cool. So for instance, I did my live stream 2 days ago, and that was my monthly vinyl edition. So that was no DJ software, none of that. Just 2 turntables and a mixer, and a bunch of my vinyl, which I still have to get back in the right place, which is also a downside of vinyl I forgot about. Once you get back from your gig, even if your gig is in the studio, I have to take all of the vinyl out those crates again and get it back in the wall. But if you have instrumental versions on some of your records, then you use those instrumental versions as the beats, and then you take any sound to scratch, or you buy an actual battle record. You have vinyl that has just beats and sounds on it, and you can use that. So look for battle breaks. Just Google that and look for some battle breaks on vinyl if you want to have vinyl with scratch sounds and beats, and that should help you out as well. Who Rich, what up? King Analog says, rate needles for scratching / turntablism. The M447, Jaico, Concord, newer ones. So I used a lot of Stanton needles in the beginning, Stanton 500 back in the days, and those were not great for scratching and anything, and I had to like put coins and everything on them to make them heavier. I used the M447s by Shure for a long time, and really loved using those. Used some Concords. Started to use a lot of Ortofon needles. Still do. I had the Qbert editions. I use the S120s now. I haven't tried Jaico yet, and that is something I will try to do. Try to use the Jaicos on the M447. I actually talked to them like a week ago, and I was expecting the VNL, the new Ortofon VNL, to come in. Those sound very promising. Unfortunately, they weren't here in time for my vinyl edition last week, so I hope that they're here before my next edition, so I can try those out. Yes. If you include DVS, use the Ortofon Digital Mark II, really good. If it's just vinyl, Ortofon Scratch Mark II, Ortofon VNL. Okay, yeah, and the Jaico you're talking about as well. So I'm using the Ortofon, but I'm not using the digital. I'm using the S120s. Those were made for Serato, but I don't know if they're better than the digital Mark II. They all work well for me. Let's see. Okay. So I can scroll back a little bit to see what I missed. See what's happening here. So, but yeah, by the way, let me not even go there. I actually decided yesterday or Monday after I did my live stream, the vinyl edition, that I will be doing a thorough check and getting rid of quite some of that vinyl. Well, that's an overstatement. I'm getting rid of some of that vinyl. I just kept all my vinyl from the vinyl days, and what I discovered again on Monday is that I also kept all of the vinyl that was already in bad shape. And so, for instance, on Monday, I was working with a part of the vinyl I used on Monday was vinyl I selected on Sunday. And I also grabbed like a ton of my compilation records. And most of those are just totally messed up. Like anytime I would grab one of them, I could see like, ooh, And I even tried some, and like it was just all crackle and pop or just skipping. I need to just throw all of that away because I want this collection to be strictly vinyl that I actually want to play and can play. Right now, to me, this is a facade because there's vinyl in here that really can't be played. So why should I keep it? Some would probably leave everything in there because more vinyl looks cooler. I'm not into looking cool. I don't give a damn about that. If it means that if I grab a bunch of vinyl and half of it's not good, now again, that's an overstatement. A lot of my vinyl is in great condition, but I could tell like there is like a bunch of that vinyl that just went into the crates every damn day, and I just didn't give it enough love. Like you're playing fast, I would just throw it back in the crate, not put it in the sleeve straight away. At the end of the gig, sometimes you would see like 4 or 5 records like stacked together, or you put them in the same sleeve, and you just mess them up. So hi Jay, I mean the Rain 1 it's going to be great for scratching. Like I think you can scratch on any controller. First off, you can. Can you do all scratches on all controllers? No, but the basics for sure. I will always say turntables are the best learning tool for scratches because it just gives you more understanding because of the feel, because of the motorized platter. But like Rain 12s or the Rain 1 or an NS7, they also have that spinning, that motorized platter. So that gives you that same feel. So if you have to consider what you want to do, are you going to be buying vinyl or do you already have a lot of vinyl? Because if you are starting now and you don't have vinyl, if you buy turntables and a mixer, you also have to start building a vinyl collection. So that's a thing to keep in mind. If you're buying the Rain 1, then you have music on your computer that you can use straight away. But you still get that turntable feel because of the motorized platters. But they will both work. DJ Clean says, why does my turntable have a delay when I drop a song? Okay, so are you using it with DJ software? I have to assume you're using it with DJ software because if you're using vinyl with your turntable, there's no delay possible. So it has to be software, right? Let me know what you're using. And DJ Knowledge says that you should use the stylus number 2 for Artiphone VNL. Yeah. And I've heard that before. Like Knowledge also says like VNL is the closest thing to the 447. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying them out. Like I said, they were supposed to get here. I was hoping they would get here before my vinyl edition. And I really hope they come now because one of my S120 needles was kind of acting up during the stream. So I can't wait to try out new needles. You know nothing. I don't really have a favorite when it comes to Cardi. I actually like Cardi, but I hardly listen to Cardi. So it's not, I never put on like Cardi B songs. So I don't have a favorite. Yeah, Mixmaster G, I gotta be honest, it's the same for me. I kind of just added a Discord because I like to have accounts, but I'm not using Discord yet at all. So it's there. People can get in. People can use it. But it wasn't something I was using before. Like my oldest son was using Discord more than I was to just communicate with some people. Sometimes he was gaming, and if they didn't have like the game chat, they were using Discord as a chat. But somehow it seemed like every streamer was adding a Discord. And I was like, okay, I was like getting more into the current streaming game because I was streaming like 10 years ago, but things were way different then. I was like, okay, cool. Let me add the Discord. But I'm like, okay, is this something I really want to add as well? Yeah. DJ List, what up? Salute. And what's going on here? How can you reduce some of the static when you're playing on real vinyl? Static. What kind of static are you talking about, Queen Caesar? So if you're using back to DJ Clean, if you're using Serato and phase, you got to check your settings and make sure your computer is up to par for that as well. So maybe you need to adjust your buffer size, or your computer just can't handle it. So if you're using it with Serato and phase now, do you also have control vinyl there? If so, try to test it as well with Serato and just using control vinyl to see if that is making a difference. Yeah. But it's really hard to troubleshoot if you're not actually seeing the equipment. That is a thing. Matt Zay, what up? How can I make a freestyle like Red Bull DJ mixes? I mean, how to plan each song like that? Is it prepared in audio software? Look, like making routines is just something that takes a really long time. It's quite an effort. Now, some DJs will just prepare a routine from start to finish, like sit down, like, okay, what is it I want to do for Red Bull 3 style? I got my 15 minutes. Do I have something in mind? Do people have a theme? Search for songs like that. I also know a lot of DJs will take short routines that they already have, that they use during their live sets, take some of those routines, put them together, and then add something to turn it into a cohesive routine. So I've heard plenty of DJs say that. So they're not starting from scratch. They already have like short routines. Then they turn that into an entire thing. So no, it's not something you make in audio software either, even though I do hear that a lot of DJs will make special edits to make the routine a little bit easier to handle. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of prep, and even editing to make everything come together and turn it into a really good show. Like from the record on back to Queen Caesar about the static. So from the record on real vinyl, just a regular needle and vinyl, like static. I mean, if the vinyl is in good condition, you shouldn't be getting static, or at least like a real little bit of static. That's also what I was talking about, like just now, like I'm going to get rid of some of my vinyl. Like I have a ton of vinyl that's in bad condition, and then we're talking about heavy static and crackles and pops and skips, and that just takes away from the performance. So playing vinyl was a cool experience. It always is. But you don't want to have a constant battle with your vinyl. Like, okay, this doesn't sound right. This one is skipping. So I want to make sure that there's only vinyl in the wall that's playable. Now, I'm not going to do a total test for every piece of vinyl in there. So it's not like I'm going to play every piece of vinyl to see if there's a skip somewhere. This is strictly going to be an eye test. I can look at certain pieces of vinyl and see straight away, like, okay, this is in terrible condition. Let me get rid of that right now. And I'm going to throw all of them out. So if the vinyl is in good condition, clean, if the needle is clean, you shouldn't have a lot of static. Let me know when you're live on Instagram. So I do not stream on Instagram when it comes to my mixes. This is basically the only stream I do also on IG. So I'm currently right now, I'm streaming on Mixcloud, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And since last week, I added IG Live. That's only on the Wednesdays for STK Live, so the Q&A show. I do a live mix show every Monday. That's only on Mixcloud and Twitch. Then I have a show on Sunday called Plugging In, where I'm sharing my screen, showing you whatever I'm working on. And that's on Facebook, YouTube, Mixcloud, and Twitch. Not on IG because I can't share my screen, or I would have to like point my phone towards my screen, but then I can't see any of your comments. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. And every 2 weeks, I do a mix show called Certified Bangers on Friday. And that's also only on Mixcloud and Twitch. So make sure you sign up to one of those platforms to come check it out. So yeah, that's the thing with the older records, Queen Caesar. And like, I mean, I don't mind a little bit of static, you know? Especially nowadays, people appreciate it when they see me do vinyl. They like it. Like, some people like it because of the right reasons, because it looks cool. It gives them memories. Some people like it for, I mean, reasons I don't care about. Like, some people still feel like vinyl is the only way to be real. I'm totally not about that. But they'll enjoy when they see me play vinyl. So, yeah, a little bit of static, I don't mind, because it is vinyl. And a lot of my vinyl is used, but I have some terrible vinyl in there, and that just needs to go. That really just needs to go. What do you think about, let's see, the Reflex has a question. What do you think about it, the Pioneer controller or Numark controller? I don't know which specific controllers you're talking about, but Pioneer and Numark both have great controllers. So a lot of brands have great controllers nowadays. So let me actually grab a piece of that vinyl. I was shocked with some of the vinyl I looked at. So Chris on the mix, like, no. I mean, yes, like some vinyl might need a simple cleaning. The vinyl I'm talking about right now, yeah, some of the vinyl I grabbed yesterday on Monday, that was just in terrible condition. Like, that's a cleaning is not going to fix that for me. So I don't know what the conversation was about. I just see Vest saying that Flipside has a show on Thursday where he shows how to create a mix with Ableton. Maybe that kind of relates to the 3-style thing we were talking about. I don't know. I've seen that, indeed. But that's more for a radio show than for a competition, indeed. But the thing is, you could, indeed, like in Ableton or in audio software, you could make like a skeleton edit of how you would want your mix to sound, and then from there you start to work it out, and then you add your turntablism tricks and scratching stuff like that. Side says you're going to load certified bangers to Mixcloud. I still have some shows to add to Mixcloud. The last certified banger show I did was the DMX show. That's on Mixcloud. That you can find that right now. Some more shows over there, and I'm adding even more. Yes. And indeed, like Knowledge said, you can't fix Q burn. So with vinyl, that's the case. Like some records are just. I tore them up. Okay, so God's Own says try Groove Glide on some salvageable vinyl. Stuff is great. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like that's why I said, like, the first thing I'm gonna do is simply an eye test, because with certain vinyl, and that's the vinyl I'm talking about now, you can just see like. That's beyond repair. I'm just going to get rid of those, and that's it. Lucia, what's going on? Or Luca? No, Lucia, I got it right. Super, I get this question a lot, and I don't mind. It's all good. Saturday Super Session. I will do one Saturday Super Session this year, and it's going to be later in the year. I can't do too many because they just take up too much time, but I will do at least one Saturday Super Session this year. Do you have any styrene records in your collection? I bought some in the past on accident. Not sure what to do with them because they sound really bad. Styrene records. What's the styrene record? I'm not sure what that is. Visually very similar to actual vinyl, but cheaper to produce. No, I'm actually not familiar with that one. Yeah, so Lucia, like Saint Lucia, got you. No. I mean, now that you said, I think I may have heard that name before, but no. Naomi, I appreciate that follow. Salute, 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 salute. Let me grab one of those records I was talking about. I think it was some in this stack that were kind of terrible. I used to love these. These were all from the Master Cuts collection. They had a ton of different compilation records. They did a New Jack Swing selection that was super dope. I really enjoyed this, especially when I was making well, no, also for my normal parties when it was still all vinyl. This just saved me a lot of room because I had a lot of records that would have like that one song or two songs that you really like to play. But then you would have to bring like a ton of records. And I was already bringing like 3 to 4 crates a lot of times. So having just a bunch of playable songs all together means I would have to bring less. So for instance, New Jack Swing was something we would do on the side a lot, unless we were doing actual New Jack Swing parties. So if you just want to have like enough to do a couple of like 15-minute sets within the entire night of a certain genre, then having stuff like this was great. But I played these a ton, and they had more. They also had like classic R&B, and as you can see, I was even buying those double because I have part 1 double and part 2 double because I still needed to do my doubles. That's another New Jack Swing. Then they had a classic hip hop. They had classic G-funk. So they were coming with the heat. But with some of those, like I grabbed some of those this weekend, this Monday, and yeah, this one. I mean, this one is pretty scratched up. It's gonna be hard for y'all to tell. I can't really. I mean, I could show you this, but that won't really translate that well. There's also a lot of dirt, but this is not as bad as it got. It got a lot worse. Ah, got you. I mean, I know what an acetate is. So I mean, if that's the same thing as the styrene, oh, they're not. Okay, they're not acetates. Okay, not. Because those are used for test pressings, and I have a couple of those, but styrene is different. Okay, so no, then I don't know styrene. List 2, I appreciate that follow, and we got Jet 604. Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if you can see this. Is that going to translate? Let me find the right light for the one camera. No, it's really hard to see with that light. Oh yeah, maybe there. No, you can't see. There's like a ton of really deep scratches there. Nothing can clean that. I need to just throw that away because I don't want to grab it next time either. So it's only going to take up space. And if it means that I have to get rid of, like, let's say 1/10 of the collection, because it's not like it's going to be like a quarter of my collection. That's not it. We're talking about maybe getting rid of like 1/10 of my collection. All that means is that I'm going to have room to maybe put one of my mixers or controllers on top of that instead of vinyl. So it makes no sense for me to keep all of that in there. Do you have any tips for when doing Facebook or Instagram sets? My audio always gets blocked for copyright, but I see people stream all the time. Yeah, same here. I stopped even trying with Facebook because they just block me every time. I just stopped doing it. So my only guess right now is that either that algorithm, that their detection software doesn't work well and it skips certain people. I don't believe that. Or somehow some DJs have been able to white flag their channels, meaning that a label can tell, for instance, YouTube or maybe Facebook as well, that a certain page or channel has has been allowed to use their music. So if they catch that music on that channel, that is okay. I know it's possible because I've had it happen with one song that I knew I could play, and somehow it got YouTube sent me a copyright email. So I made sure I went out and checked, because that's a song I produced. Now, that doesn't mean that I can use it. If it came out on a different label and I don't own the rights, then it's still not my song. But it's a song by an artist that I know would not put that song up to be discovered by YouTube's content ID system. So it turned out that that song was actually still released on somehow with another label. So he had to contact that other label, and then they white flagged my channel. So I know labels can white flag a channel, meaning that I now have permission to play that song. So I believe some DJs probably have the connects to get their channels white flagged. Otherwise, I don't understand either, because a lot of us are getting blocked or getting cut off. I had the same thing happen on YouTube. I was using my old YouTube channel. So I have my main channel, DJ TLM TV, and I have my old channel, DJ TLM. And I was using my old channel to live stream just in case, because in the beginning I was using my main channel for the mixes. And then I saw one pop-up that said that I was actually, it wasn't a copyright issue, but it was a policy violation. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything on my main channel because I'm not jeopardizing that channel. I have over 500 educational videos on that channel. That needs to be safe. Let me try it on my old YouTube channel. Now, it worked fine for a couple of times, and every time I stream there, I get like 60 emails just telling me like, hey, copyright, copyright, copyright. But most of the times, that's still fine, because that means that they'll let the video stay up, and then ads will run on that video, and the label will earn money. Fine by me. Certain artists you can't play because then the stream gets blocked in certain countries. That happens a lot with, for instance, Jay-Z. But now I had it happen 2 times that my stream got stopped by YouTube, and I received the policy violation email. They won't tell me for what song, but I actually had like my first official strike on that channel, and I couldn't post or live stream from the channel for 1 week. And if it happens 2 more times, they'll delete the channel. So yeah, but then I see other DJs. I mean, I see Jeff on all the channels, including YouTube, all the time, and I see replays for all the streams as well. I don't know. But yeah, that's why I'm streaming on Twitch and Mixcloud. Twitch is safe for the live stream. The replay will get muted. That's fine by me. Mixcloud, you will never have issues because it's the only one doing it all the way legal. But they only have audio replay. But that's it. Mixcloud and Twitch is where it's at for me for the mixes. So, Knockhead Studio, like you said, you got D-Nice, and he can play what he wants, and other DJs can't. That might be what I said. Maybe D-Nice has the right connects, and they just white flagged his channel because they like what's happening there. Otherwise, I don't know. And so, Nilusha, even with the white labels, if you're playing white labels, but you're playing songs by artists that are on labels, a lot of times those white labels are just songs that are or will have been released officially through their label as well, and then you're still gonna get blocked for that. Now you have a lot of people playing like more obscure music from smaller labels, and those labels are fine with the promo, and they won't add anything to the content ID system. So yes, I think it does depend on what kind of songs from what kind of labels and artists you play. But there's no real truth to what I see some people say, like, yeah, only play it for like a minute or stuff like that. I don't really think that helps out that much. List 2 says I was blocked from going live on Facebook for 6 months over copyright violations. I found that they don't really kick me off, but if I allow Facebook to save the video, they'll always hit me with the copyright about 3 hours afterwards. Okay, now I always get blocked by Facebook during the stream. Zayla from Paris, salute. I don't know which record pool to recommend. It also depends on what type of genres you're most interested in. I think that's an important one as well, because all those pools have different genres that they specialize in. Some have more of this, some more of that. And I really don't check out a lot of DJ pools anymore. My only subscription is DJ City right now. Before that, it was DJ City and Beat Junkies, but now I'm finding most of my music on Beat Source. So yeah, that's basically it. DJ Phenomenal. Or Phenomenal. Do you think Mixcloud will ever attempt to have video replay? No, I don't know, because that's also, they have the license to have the live stream on and then an audio replay. They don't have the license for, oh no, I'm mistaken. They don't have the license for DJs who play video. Will they do video replay? I don't know. And I mean, like, YouTube has replays and Twitch has replays, but like I said, like normally with my replays on Twitch, 85 to 90% of the replay is muted because of copyrights. So there's no real use for me for the replays because they don't work for me. I Can Pro, Toronto in the building, salute. Okay, so White CS says my homie does videos a lot, streams on Twitch, and I see it on Facebook. Never a problem. Yeah, I mean it's weird. It's weird indeed. I totally understand. I feel the same way. I've even had like a story recently. Someone made a video. Let me scroll real quick. I think I missed someone. But someone made a video, and in that video, he was with another DJ. Everything's moving. He was with another DJ, and they were showcasing something, I believe. And there was a little bit of music in there. And they uploaded the video to both of their channels, but kept it private, just to test and see what YouTube would do. For one of the two, they got that copyright flag. The other person didn't. Same video, both on YouTube. Not big channels or whatever. So something is not working all the way correctly. So maybe some DJs are lucky, but it has to be a little bit more than that. Philip Tan says, last week YouTube pulled the archive video of my DJ set because of organized violent crime, an 80s boogie set. I appealed and the video was reinstated in a couple of hours. Yep. So sometimes that can happen as well. So sometimes it's worth it to appeal. Most of the times I don't, because I know I've played music that's not mine, so I know I don't own the copyrights. But yeah. Have you ever connected the Roadcaster Pro to a mixer? If yes, how did you do that? Not a mixer, but what I have done a lot in the past is I would take the Roadcaster Pro. Oh, got to go further than that for IG. It's right here. It's what I'm using right now. And in the past, I would connect that to my A10 Mini Pro. So the A10 Mini Pro was the only thing connected to the computer, and I would send the output from the Roadcaster Pro into the A10 Mini Pro. I'm currently not doing that anymore because I just have the A10 Mini Pro connected through USB just to get that GoPro into the computer, and I just have the Roadcaster Pro connected on its own. But how I connected it in the past was I would take that, it has an output. It has like that speaker output. IG. Do I have room? Yes. So it has the speaker output right there. And you could connect that to an input on a mixer. And I would take like a stereo jack into one of those mini jack, what's it called? TRRS cables, the 3.5, the small ones, into the back of the A10 Mini Pro. I don't know if I have enough room. Yeah. There's the A10 Mini Pro. It has two of those audio inputs. But you could do the same for a mixer. So yeah. So you should be able to connect that. Big Tasty wants to know, how do you like the RP 8000? Is it better than an SL 1200 Mark II? So yes, these are the RP 8000 Mark IIs. I really like them. They're dope. Are they better than the 1200? Now, if we're just comparing the basic turntable part, so just putting the vinyl on and putting the needle on, then I don't know. I mean, they both get the job done well. If we take it a step beyond that, I like basically all newer turntables better than the SL 1200s because of the fact that you can disconnect the power cable and the RCA cables. The fact that everything is all built into the 1200s on the Mark IIs, yeah, if anything happens, and it has happened to me in the past, like one of the cables had like an internal break, you need to bring the whole turntable away. If that happens with a newer turntable, I can grab an RCA cable out the box and go for it. Now, the RP 8000, of course, goes a couple of steps beyond that because it has a ton of control on the device. So I can control my hot cues. I can browse through songs. So they're not even in the same league when it comes to features. When it comes to features, it wins 1,000 times. So to me, a more fair comparison would be to take a turntable that also has the same features. So for instance, my Denon VL12s don't have a lot more features compared to a 1200. And I would still prefer those because of the fact I can detach the power and the RCAs. Same thing with my Vestax, my PDX 3000 with the RCA at least, not the power. And I'm forgetting some others as well. But yeah, that's it. Is there a difference between Tractor and Serato that you notice as a pro? I have Tractor and it's more common in England, but Serato seems more common elsewhere. Pros seem to favor Serato. See, that changes over time. There was a time when pros would prefer Tractor, and I would say some pros, because even at a time when they were saying like that was like the industry standard, I didn't like it. I was using Serato, and a lot of people were using Serato, and Serato just won so much ground, and now it is considered to be more of an industry standard when we're talking about DVS. They all get the job done. Nothing wrong there. Like Serato, Tractor, Record Box, they all get that job done. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with Algorithm DJ and Virtual DJ, but right now I'm talking about the real DVS standard DJs, DJ software. Their UI is different, so the interface looks different. I prefer Serato. It's a little more basic. I like the look of it more. Serato is more plug and play in most cases. Tractor still has like a bunch of tabs with so many settings, meaning you can change more, adjust more. But I don't use that, so I prefer Serato. But if it's working for you, then there's nothing wrong with that. And like I said in the beginning, I use Serato, but I also use Record Box, and I use Tractor when I use my S4. So I use all of it. Yeah, so Creature, I was just talking about that. Like a lot of these, I'm gonna have to discard because a lot of them are not in good condition. So I have to really check all of them to see, like, hey, how good are you doing? Like I remember I bought extra copies, not just to have doubles, but also because a lot of times I wrecked the original copy. I mean, I used these a ton. I used them so many times, but now a lot of them like are just so scratched up, like it's not even funny anymore. Like this can't be fixed with cleaning. So I just got to throw those away, or keep one or two as a memory, like as memorabilia. But I don't want to have like a ton of vinyl in the wall that's just memorabilia, just taking up space while I can't play it anymore. Yeah. And White CS says, I rock with both Tractor and Serato. I prefer Tractor because of the workflow, plus certain things they do better. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, everyone's going to have their preference, but you just can't go wrong with any of them. They all work well. But yeah, again, like Philip Tan and Creature, the master cuts, they did it. They did their thing right. Their selection of tracks that they added to all of these compilations was just really, really dope. Yeah, they are like super dope. But again, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to keep all of them if the vinyl is just in terrible condition, in terrible state. Like, I just noticed that. I was grabbing a bunch of vinyl for the show Monday, and I don't want to grab like 4 or 5 tracks in a row and they're all just not in playable condition. That doesn't make sense. Or I would have to, like, first thing I'm going to do the eye test and take out all of the stuff that's not good anymore. And from that stack, I'm going to go through them. And if there's like a selection in there that I would say like, hey, this is just dope to keep as memories, then I'll keep them in a separate part of the collection so I know I won't grab them to do a set. Knowledge says all you can do is leave a note on your Facebook page stating go to such and such website to see you actually DJ. So yeah, what I did a couple of times is I would start my live stream, my mixed live stream, but before I started mixing, I would have the live stream also going to my YouTube and Facebook. And then I would start by saying like, hey guys, I'm going to go live right now. I'm going to mix, but I can't do it here on Facebook and YouTube. I'm just starting the stream so you can see that I'm starting now, but if you want to come see me, you got to go here and there. And some people would make the switch. A lot of people don't. They either say that they don't have, for instance, a Twitch account, which to me is still a lame excuse because making an account only takes like a minute on Mixcloud or Twitch. But some people just don't like to have more apps, more accounts, and that's their right. But if you want to see the sets, you got to go to those places. Let's see. When making a remix for a set, do you need permission from the original artist? Former 313. Well, you don't need permission from an artist to make a remix, and you can play that remix in your own set. Maybe you get a copyright strike. Maybe you won't. If you want to release a remix, then you're going to need permission from the artists. You can't just release it, even though that has happened in the past as well on white labels. But yeah, if you're just gonna you can make remixes for any tracks and play them in your own sets. And like I said, maybe in some cases the content ID system still recognizes a song and you get a copyright strike. A lot of times you probably won't. Darius says, what site or apps are good for booking gigs? I don't know of any. I mean, we can change it up a bit. Social media. So plenty of websites and apps there. You can use those to network and in that case, promote yourself or maybe upload content and grow a fan base. And that might help you to get bookings. But I don't know of specific like an app you could use to get bookings. So maybe there are apps like that. Maybe someone in the chat can help you out with that. I don't know. Dennis Mark, what up? Learned a lot from you. I'm using old model Numark Mixtrack Pro 1 with Serato DJ Intro. Just want to ask if it's also working with Serato DJ Pro. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that works. You should check the Serato website to see if that's if that works. Mixtrack Pro was cool though. I remember that one. Someone says Gigmart. Is that a real thing? Gigmart? I've never heard of that. But there's plenty of things that I've never heard of. So, all right. I can't find it yet. I mean, I see a Gigmart thing on Facebook. So I don't know if that's it. No, don't know it. DJ Phil 1, what do you think of the SE6000M? I have not tried that. I have a 5000M, and I really like that one. So I think I would really like the 6000M as well. I basically like anything with a motorized platter. That's my weakness. I love motorized platters. My 5000M is cool, and I really like it. So never had a chance to try the 6, but I have to assume it's also going to be dope. Maybe better. White CEST, my pleasure. All right, so you say you've had your hands in several cookie jars, meaning record pools, and you often get asked by your DJ friends where you get your music. You're reluctant to share that information. Why is that? Let me know. Why is that? Why are you reluctant to share where you got your music from? I'd like to know that. Because they need to do their own research. Okay. But in a way, asking you is part of doing research, especially nowadays. Like you can go online and on Google, you can say DJ pool. Yes. And find DJ pools. But part of research would be to check other DJs to see if they've used certain record pools to find out like, hey, which one did you like best and why? They could also find like online record pools, but if they are your DJ friends, I don't see why not. I mean, there's a difference between like just random people asking you stuff and your friends, first off. Besides that, I mean, and I guess that's pretty obvious by now, I never see the harm in sharing that type of knowledge. In some cases, if people ask me questions that I have to look up on Google, then they should just look those questions up on Google. But anytime it's about if I have experience with certain situations or certain equipment or music sources, you name it, I see no reason why I shouldn't share that. So yeah, that's why I do it. I want to service my 1210s. Do you have a recommendation for spindle lube? Is DW40 okay? I've already soldered in new pitch controls. Okay, so you are way beyond my level of servicing turntables. So I have no idea. I really can't help you there. Yeah. So same thing here. I mean, that's the question. And even though in this case, I'm not really able to help the person out, this is that person doing research. Already did some work, knows about a certain type of spindle lube, and now asking another DJ like, hey, do you have experience with that? Is it good? I think it would be weird for me to say like, hey, go find that out for yourself. I mean, yeah. Worth, what up? Hovering just fine. And that's the cool thing. So I'm gonna have to do the little chat conversion here because the question came in on IG Live, and that's the cool thing about the other chats, peeps, on IG. The other people, so the people from YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook can see each other's chat. Mixcloud can't, but the rest can. So there's an answer there. And Creature says WD-40 removes rust. So, okay. Mustafa, I appreciate that. DJ Do It, what up? If it was one thing I did learn from TLM, it was sharing the knowledge. I thought that is what it was all about. Yeah, it's different though. It's different from different eras, different people. Like back in the days, I mean, I come from hip hop, and in hip hop, there was a certain element of keeping things to yourself. So a lot of DJs, especially back in those vinyl days, if DJs had a track and other DJs didn't have it, they would just cover the label so other DJs couldn't see what it was, because they didn't want other DJs to know, because that was kind of exclusive. Things have changed a little bit. It's never been my my thing to not share, but I know I recognize the sentiment, even though that's not the way that you meant it. But yeah, let's see. Someone else says WD-40 is not a lube. I would try clipper oil. Okay. Wait a minute. You got Setiono in the building. Which one? Using too much spindle lube would attract dust more easily, right? Again, this conversation is beyond me. I've never done stuff like that to turntables. Someone, Miyagi the DJ, says you only need a couple of drops. Okay. Knowledge says, yes, we used to cover the labels back in the days. These days, it's totally different, which is a good thing. Yeah. I mean, it was cool to do, but I think back in those days, like having an exclusive was probably more of a thing. Like at a certain point, like having an exclusive wasn't really a thing, because the crowd, at least here, my experience was that a lot of times most of the crowd wasn't really into songs until they knew them. So if you could have like a brand new track, and we would always have like the brand new tracks, those would not get like a lot of reaction in the beginning because people didn't know them. I've emptied a dance floor with Fat Joe Lean Back. I mean, I just got back from the States. I bought it at Beat Street, a white label version of the track of Lean Back. Got back, I had a gig that night here in the Netherlands, played it, emptied the dance floor with a track like Lean Back, because they didn't know it yet. So having that first exclusive type of track, it's not really a thing anymore, I think. So Setiono, jij bent het wel. Oké dan, dope. But it was never my thing even then. Like if I had a track and other DJs came up to me like, yo, what's that? I would just let them know that it's this track. I mean, I never felt like, oh, if the other DJ has it, it's going to take away from my sets. But I think to some DJs that was the attitude. Like, hey, this track improves my set. I don't want other people to have that. But again, it's a difference of mindset. Miyagi the DJ says, I repair 1200s and the best spindle lube is from Panasonic, or you can use sewing machine oil, like an earlier user suggested. Yes. All right, so YCS says, yeah, there's a point where some things you have to keep to yourself. I've learned that the hard way. I always share my gear, music knowledge, but people have taken advantage of that. Yeah, I mean, we can all have a bad experience like that where someone takes advantage of you. But then again, it's to the point now where I'm at least going to let them do their own research. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, everyone will have a different experience with that. So I can understand where you're coming from for sure. We got Brainpower in the building. And now he's coming in with jokes. How did you make the magical Crockett and Tubbs beat? This is not plugging in, bro. I'm not going to go through my workflow with that. But salute to Brainpower. Make sure you check him out. He just dropped a new album yesterday. So make sure you go check that out. For my Dutch peeps, it's a Dutch album. For my global peeps, if you want to hear dope Dutch hip-hop, make sure you check out MC Brainpower. That's Brainpower on Spotify. Yeah, just released that new. Let's see. Yeah, so they're talking about the sewing oil. That's dope. And let's see. Creature says, do you find mixing R&B, let's say 90s flavor, with 90s hip hop difficult? The two seem very different in musical styles to me, like a lot slower. No, 90s hip hop and R&B go together like great. They're not different in tempo either. If you're talking about hip hop and R&B from that same era, no, they're super compatible. They go really well together, especially during the 90s. There was a point where a lot of R&B music was actually using a lot of like the hip hop production style. So that's actually super easy for me to mix together. Lernie van der zegt, nieuwe Brainpower. Ik hoop dat het weer hard is. En Lernie, ja, zeker. Check op Spotify. Barlito's Way van Brain. Let's see, did I miss anything else there? Yeah, so knowledge, same here. I'm glad the mindset is changing. Like, especially if we as DJs value a certain standard, the best way to uphold that standard or even raise the bar is to make sure that we share the knowledge so other DJs can get better. If we try to keep all of that to ourselves, the level is going to go down and down and down, because if new generation DJs have to find out on their own, and if they ask for information and we're not sharing, that's going to lead to the downfall, because we're going to start seeing DJs that have just less knowledge and less skills. Their audience will start to get used to that, so the bar gets lower, which is bad for the art form. That's why I prefer to share knowledge and hopefully maintain a standard or even improve it. And there's a lot of people from the younger generations that love to hear. I mean, it shouldn't be like in a finger pointing way, like you kids have to learn. Not at all. But if you just make sure that the info is out there, I found that there's plenty of younger or beginner DJs that are happy to hear what you have to say and can learn from it. And again, I want to hear good DJs. I started to share because I want to hear good DJs. I prefer to hear more good DJs instead of seeing more bad DJs. I don't want it to get to a point where people start to not even recognize what's good anymore. And if you're too skillful, that they even think that that's bad because they're used to a totally different standard now. That's not where we want to head, where we want to go. And you can even see that now. For instance, like we have Brainpower in the chat as well now. If you look at rap music, like a lot of rappers nowadays, it's a lot more about attitude, feeling totally free, a lot of melodies in there, less skill. Not all, but a lot. And I can see how the younger generation got used to a certain style. Like a lot of these new rappers can't even rap on beat. They're like a little bit ahead of the beat. Their audience has gotten used to that. And a lot of times when they hear a rapper from another generation with a higher skill level, to them, that sounds weird or even bad because they're not used to that bar anymore. That bar of bars. I don't want to see that happening with DJing too much. And it already happened to a certain degree. Like skills are undervalued. Understand that the music is the most important part. But even when it comes to the music selection, the level has gone down. Now, I can only speak for my own surroundings. I can't speak for the entire globe, but I see that here. Meaning that if I come out and I try to bring a more diverse set, or I try to add maybe something that's more exclusive or a little educational, adding an original sample in there, that gets appreciated less because they're used to DJs that bring a lower level, a lower standard when it comes to the quality. That's overall just not good for the art form. The streaming era that we're in right now, this last year, hopefully has actually led to people opening up more. And I saw the question in the beginning, like, hey, a lot of DJs are going back to like doing a lot of throwback type of music. Will the audience now start to ask for that more? Maybe. Because you see a lot of DJs now get into their element because they feel the freedom during live streams. They don't have to worry about the stress of playing for an audience. So you don't have a party where 5 DJs are playing the exact same set of tracks with just the current hits, all on the same BPM, just doing one long, boring mix. They're starting to feel like, okay, I can DJ again. And if people see and hear enough of that, that's a good thing for all of us. So, yeah, loving that. Dennis Mark, I appreciate that. Yes. DJ Milton Josh says, I don't have a MacBook as yet. I use Windows. I have the full version of Serato DJ Pro. The video mixing feature on my computer doesn't work. The screen comes up blank. That's a good one, because I had that happen to me last week when I tried something with Serato Video. And I have the Serato Video extension. I've used that for years with Mac. Not on Windows, and I'm on Windows here as well. I'm not familiar if that's like an issue for a lot of Windows DJs, but I have to look into that as well. So you actually just reminded me of something I still have to look into. Yes. DJ Dillawood, bless. DJ Remedy, greetings, greetings. Setiono says, in the end, it's also about how you use your music, use/create your own style. So I wouldn't mind sharing. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I've said this since way back. Like you should be able to give 20 DJs the same playlist, same/creative music, and the outcome should be different. You know what I'm saying? Like. Even if the DJs all possess the exact same skills, they should still be able to, it should still sound different. You should not hear 20 mixes that sound exactly the same. Just because once you get to a level, you start to add your own personality to it, and everyone's going to do things a little bit different, hopefully. And Creature, very important, like sharing the knowledge, not preaching it. And that's where I've seen people just approach this the wrong way. Bloodmaster, what up? I've seen people approach that the wrong way. I've seen DJs approach that the wrong way. I've seen MCs, rappers approach that the wrong way. They're on a soapbox, but not in a positive way. It's like I said, it's all about the finger pointing. So same thing with all the DJs who will always comment when they see a DJ playing with a controller or with some new DJ gear, like, oh, you're not a DJ, you're a button pusher. A real DJ uses real vinyl. Stuff like that. I laugh. I can laugh at it. And I know I'll probably bust the ass on any deck any day. I don't care. Young kids who hear something like that will be like, why is this old grandpa looking dude hating on me? I'm just doing my thing. And they'll stop listening straight away. And I understand. I would do the same thing. I've seen rappers do it too. Like talking to like young rappers, like, you need to know KRS-One. This is real hip hop. Young kids aren't into that, and they're like, if that's the way you're gonna approach me, then I guess I don't want to hear about KRS-One at all. That's not how you should approach it. I mean, I have a 13-year-old son. I hear what he listens to. I know what he's into. I mean, I think like probably 50 to 80% of the rappers he listens to are not on a skill level I enjoy. I can enjoy the flavor of some. I hear a lot of names I haven't heard before. Keeps me in touch with what's happening. But I've never, even though I will tell them like, oh, that's weird. They're rapping like in front of the beat, or, ooh, that was just a horrible flow. But I'm not telling like that's BS. You shouldn't listen to that. Nah, do you? But I make sure I let him check out the Hip Hop Evolution like documentary, and we check it together. We watch it together, so you can see like, hey, that's how they were doing it back in the days, and some of it will stick. Like then later on he'll remember like, oh, okay, Run DMC or whatever. But don't approach it from a standpoint like, no, this is real. That's not. So Jax, the my oldest is 13. The other one is almost 10. So I mean, I know some of the stuff some of the rappers, of course. So, for instance, the Trippie Reds and Travis Scott. But then he's into like Lil Tecca's and what's it? YBM Melly and Lil Mosey and so on and so on. Like tons of littles in there and tons of you name it in there. And it's good to hear what's happening. And of course the Baby, and I know the Baby as well, but like also like rappers that I just don't know that well, or I've heard the name once, but I can't name a single song. Like for me, even like Travis Scott's not even part of that. It's already a little bit older. And like Yachty's also older than that. Like the Lil Tecca's and the YBM Mellys came after that even. And they're even younger dudes in there as well. And Ms. Rivales says he already came to me today with his 1 out of 10 rate. Yeah, that's what he does. He'll let me listen to like new rappers, and then he wants me to rate the songs. And then I'll rate him, and I'll tell him, like, I'll rate a song, but I'll tell him, like, yeah, I mean, I like the melody of this one. Production is cool, but I don't like this or that. So this gets a 6, and then he'll let me listen to a song that gets an 8. But it's all about how you approach it. It's not about, if you're being preachy, it's not going to work. And it's not correct either, because they grew up in a different era. They're in a different era now, different mindset, different sound. Our parents used to think the same thing when they heard our stuff as well. Not all parents. I had a mom who was like fully supportive, but I know plenty of parents who were like, oh, that's not real music. And as soon as parents approach something like that, you close your ears. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything here? So Steel Bill, I still haven't tried it. It looks great to me too. Anything with a motorized platter, I love. So I mean, I know I'm gonna like it a lot. But I actually haven't tried it yet. Still, now the curfew here is over. Stores are opening up more, so in the near future I will make an attempt to get to one of the audio stores and finally test out some of the equipment that I haven't tested in a year. Harvey, what's good? My crossfader started to feel loose on my controller. It doesn't seem to be replaceable. Ooh, what controller are you using? Mal G's, what up? Do you use a desktop for streaming? Yes, I'm currently on a desktop computer. That's what I'm using now for the streams with OBS. OBS going to Restream sending it to YouTube, Facebook, Mixcloud, and Twitch. And using a GoPro right now for that. And right next to the GoPro, I have my phone with IG Live on it together. So, Jax, no, Denon has not sent me the LC 6000. Right now, my current relationship with InMusic is not what it used to be. And I'll work on that as soon as I feel my delivery of content on my channel is back to where it's supposed to be. I had a good relationship with them. I wouldn't say that anything bad happened. It's just that the relationship is on a very low level. There was a point in time where I was not releasing content, and I just know how it works. I need to put myself in that position again where it's like it makes sense for them to send me stuff like that. So I've had a great relationship. Like I showed you I got the Rain 12 here. That's InMusic. I have the SC5000 here, InMusic. So we've worked together before, and they got a lot of dope stuff there. So yes, I need to make sure at a certain point we'll get that working again. Harry UK, what up? Is it worth buying a controller now or waiting till the summer for new things to come out, talking about pro controllers? That's the thing that always happens. Like, that's a question you can always ask yourself, like, should I buy now or should I wait? So my first question would be, or advice for you would be, is know exactly what you're looking for. So are the things that are on the market now, are they meeting your needs? Or is there something that you're missing? And would that be something that could be added in the near future? Because if you're looking at the current landscape of controllers, there's so many options and there's so many dope controllers and all-in-one units out there. I don't know. I don't know if anything is expected at the moment, anything special. Learning, zie volgende keer. So I'm not sure about that. So that's something you have to look at. Sometimes you have the rumors, like with the LC 6000 that was announced now. The rumors were there, even though I have to be honest, I kind of missed those rumors, but I heard Mojack say like for months now we've been seeing the rumors, so I guess the rumors were there. There's only a couple of brands really. You have Pioneer, then you have In Music that has Rain, Newmark, Denon. Native Instruments make stuff for Tractor, but they don't release a lot of DJ stuff right now. Then you got Newmark. Hercules does a couple of things. So you can look at which brands have released a controller in the last year, and would it make sense for them to come out with a new one soon? And again, is there anything you're looking for that's currently not available? You got plenty of normal controllers, motorized controllers, small, very large controllers, great all-in-one units with screens, without screens. There's so much there. I wouldn't know what to wait for right now at the moment. Okay, Harvey, you got the Roland 505. If I were you, I would look online just to see if there's an innovator for the DJ 505. If there is, then there's also possibility to change that, to get it out. But I'm not sure. I've used the 505 once. That was like a couple of years ago, I think. I have no idea how it's built again. Who's that? DJ Leak P. You're sending a shout out. Salute. And let's see. Have you always lived in the Netherlands? Yes. Born and raised in Amsterdam. What's happening here? NDI. People are talking about NDI and streaming. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up to you because I haven't used NDI yet. Pedis, what up? Is it still worth it to buy the Newmark NS7? Well, no, not the NS7. That's the first version. The last version was the NS7 III, which is still a great controller. Look at the features that are on that controller compared to what you have on one of the new controllers. Now, if you're looking at an NS7, it means you're looking at controllers with a motorized platter. So there's not a lot of controllers to look at. You have the NS7 Mark III. Then you have the Rain 1, which is a lot newer, also smaller. You can compare features, see which one would fit you better. If you have the room for a full-size controller like that NS7, that is a great option, the Mark III, compared to that Rain 1. And otherwise, you're looking at like players like the Rain 12s. If you want that motorized platter experience, or the SC5000M if you want players. But I mean, I think most of the features on the NS7 Mark III still apply to what's happening now. But compare that. I mean, it's a great controller, but maybe there's some features on there that are missing that are on current controllers. I would have to like compare them to see that. Let's see. One Rough Rican, what's going on? Question: looking at the Rain Mark 1 or Pioneer with phaser. Okay. I assume you're talking about. No, you have to explain which ones you're talking about now, Rough Rican, because I'm not sure what the Rain Mark 1 is and the Pioneer with phaser. Jan Arends, what up? I want to go back to, I got to see that question here. I want to go back to one library, Record Box. I like the layout of Serato, but to keep both is not handy. Now Rain SL2. Looking for the DJ MS7 now. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I said it in the beginning of the stream. Like the thing I like about Record Box is you can do like really extensive like tagging of tracks, and I think that's the way I want to go with when it comes to like refining my library. You can do more of that in Record Box compared to Serato or basically anything. Let's see. Studs, ever came to Toronto or plan on coming in the future? Yes, I plan on coming in the future. I definitely want to come to Toronto, and I've never been there yet. So yes, that is on my list for sure. And DJ Indo wants to know: do you drink at your events? Do you drink at your private events? No. I hardly drink at all. But especially like doing gigs is work, and I'm not drinking while I'm working. So I wouldn't like my normal drinking is maybe like once a year, having like a little bit of rum, or like once or a couple of times a year, like a tiny bit of rum, and that's it. But never during gigs. No. Let's see. Yeah, Vest, that would be something. Yeah, I would definitely check Bastard if I'm going to Toronto. That's for sure. Boris, no, I'm not rating a song. I don't know what that's about right now. That's your favorite song. I'll try to remember the name. If I get a chance, I'll look into that. All right, let's do a couple more. We're at 2 hours and 56 minutes. We're gonna end this off at the 3 hour mark. But wait, we have 5 minutes intro time. I want to take that off. So okay, we're gonna go for 10 more minutes. Let's see what's happening here. Showtime Entertainment says, "My bad, Newmark V7." Did I miss anything? Oh, right here. No, not that one. Okay, I guess I missed the part before that. Where's the rest of that one rough Rican question? Okay, there's a Showtime Entertainment question. I want motorized, but the Rain 12 is too much, and I can't spin with the table split, so Rain 1 won't work. Asked earlier if you buy the V7. No, I've played on the V7s before. I don't have them. I had the NS7, played on the V7 as well. I really liked it. I think it's dope. I don't know if they're still available, but at the time I really liked playing on them. I was used to the NS7, so for me it made sense to play on that as well. That's basically all I can say about it. I don't know how they're supported nowadays and stuff like that, so you would have to make sure to check that all out. But I had a good experience with them, but I'm talking about years ago. Jan also says, is the layout with DVS for Serato Record Box almost the same? They have a similar feel. They're not the same. There's differences, but they're way more alike when it comes to look and feel compared to, for instance, something like Tractor, which has a totally different look and feel. What do you do when the crowd doesn't connect with your set? Shabu wants to know. So, okay, for me, it's pretty simple. I mean, I play freestyle, so it's all about reading the crowd. So I'm looking at the crowd's reactions. So if I'm in a certain, playing a certain genre, certain era, certain energy, and I don't get the right reaction, my first option is to try something else. If I've tried basically all my options and I still can't get a crowd to go, and that will take some time, because I'll try some different stuff. Like if hip hop is totally not working, old hip hop or new, and R&B is not working, well, we can see what happens with dancehall. That's not working, we can take it way back, New Jack Swing, or even earlier, go 80s, whatever. If that all doesn't work, depending on what the party and theme is, what type of genres are allowed there. But if none of that is giving me a better reaction, at that point, I basically turn that switch off, and then I go into I'm going to have some fun. And I'm just going to rock a set that feels right to me. Because if they're not reacting to anything I do, either they're just a pretty lame crowd. I've had that happen before, that I got almost no reaction. But afterwards, people tell me like, hey, we really enjoyed your set. And you're like, okay, you didn't show me while I was playing, but I guess that's how you do it here. So then I just start to make sure I have fun, and I try to play like a banger set, and I'm having fun. I'm radiating that fun and doing my best. And I mean, hey, their reaction is the same as it was before. So I guess there's nothing I can do. But it's not like I try 1 or 2 songs and then I just go solo. No, I really do try to see if I can get them to go. And sometimes you just can't. Let's see. Jasmine, what up? How do you make your mixtapes, and how does that process go? So when I first started out, my first 1 or 2 mixtapes, and who's that? Jam Master D, what up? When I made my first mixtape, funny thing is, I have it right here. My mixtapes are right there. When I made my first tape, I'm pretty sure the first one was basically a one take. Not a one take, like both sides were just like mixes I recorded. No editing, none of that. I think from tape 2 or 3 on, I had a 4-track MD recorder, which allowed me to mix the songs track by track, or I'd play a couple of tracks and then I'd start on another track, bring in the new, so record like 3 or 4 songs, and if something would go wrong, I could go back and record it from that point. So that helped me out, because on the first mixtape, I had to, if I made a mistake after 25 minutes, I had to go back to the beginning and start over, because I wasn't trying to do like a pause button edit, go back. Second or third tape, I got that 4-track, so I could just play, and whenever I made a mistake, I could pick it up from that part. And at a certain point, I just moved on to recording on a computer, and I went into recording track by track. So normally when I record track by track, I'll have a list of tracks I want to play. So I collect the tracks that I want on that mixtape. Then I'll take a look at the tracks tempo-wise, what is going to fit, because I don't want it to be up and down. I want it to have like a steady flow to it. And I'll record the first song, but I'll know when I want to do my transition. So for instance, let's say I play the first song and I'll play it and I want to mix after the second verse. So after the second verse, the chorus comes in. I'm going to now, while I'm recording this first song, I'm going to do to the EQ what I would do during a mix. So, for instance, the first half of the chorus, I'm still leaving all the bass in, but then I take the bass out, because that's what I would normally do in a mix, take the bass out. And when the next 4 bars are done, I might echo it out, take it out. Then I get the next song ready. I listen to the beginning of the track. I match the beats, so it's matched, so I can now mix it. Then I hit record right before it gets to the chorus. Okay, when the chorus comes in, I'll bring in that new track with all the bass out. After 4 bars, I add the bass. On my recorded track, the bass is going out. And then I continue my mix. That's how I can do my track by track. So I'm not even doing the EQ afterwards. I'm doing the EQ while I record. So that's what I went for. Now, you could do it like that. You could also record a 1 take, but in my opinion, if you record a 1 take, that's basically a live mix. That's not the same thing as a mixtape is now. I feel a mixtape, you may produce a mixtape because you want that mixtape to be your calling card. And it's the same way artists would do when they record their album. A lot of artists will go in and their album is not a 1 take. They're going to do multiple takes to get the right take, or they're going to record a part and then they'll record another part because the second part wasn't as great first. They want that album to sound as good as it can sound. You want the same thing with that mixtape. Like, if I would record a one take now, I would just call it like a live recording. Same thing with the live streams. Those are live. But that mixtape, I want to make a product that people want to hear over and over on repeat. So you want to produce it well. You want to make sure all the levels are right, everything. So you could do that track by track. Or if I was going to do it in basically a one take, then I would have to spend a lot of time to practice all of the mixes before I do it. I have a couple of mixes on my YouTube channel. Like, I did them years ago, short mixes. I did an LL Cool J mix. I did a Gangstar mix. Those are one take mixes on video. I had to prepare those mixes because it's going to be a one take. It's going to be on video, and it has to be good. So I made the track list. Then I went through all the songs to see, okay, this one has to be at +3. Had to write all of that down, practice it. And once I got it right, then I recorded it. So I don't see really a difference between doing that, really finding out how to mix everything, writing it down, practicing it, and then recording a mixtape, or recording that mixtape track by track and adding all of the mix stuff you would do during a mix. So yeah, that is my current process. All right, so we're going to go over the time because we got more questions. Right Entertainment says, your view on Mac versus Windows. Yeah, no. For me, it's simple. I have used both basically all my computer life. Started out on Windows. Windows was definitely way, way bigger here in the Netherlands than Apple was at that time. At a certain point during my DJing, when I started to play digitally, I started out with a Windows laptop. Worked great. Absolutely great. When that died, I bought my first Mac, which was a black MacBook, not the Pro, this is a MacBook. Really liked that as well. I was still using Windows computers at home as my like normal computer and studio computer, but the MacBook became my DJ computer, and that kind of introduced me into the Apple world. Then I had to, at a certain point years later, get a new laptop. Didn't have money for the MacBook Pro, so I first bought a Windows laptop. And at a certain point, I bought a refurbished MacBook Pro. Used that for years for DJing and also producing and editing videos. Love it. Now, that died, and I didn't have money for the new MacBook. And I chose to invest in building my own studio computer, which I'm using now for streaming as well. And I've been using a borrowed laptop, a Windows laptop for DJing. It's not really holding up anymore, so I'm using the studio computer for the live stream DJing as well now. And most likely, like 99% likely, my new DJ laptop is going to be one of the M1 MacBooks. Maybe even just the Air, if it's just for DJing and a little bit of editing. Both work great. Now, I like the Apple ecosystem, so that's why a computer like that will fit well. I have my iPhone, I got the watch, I got my iPad, so I know how well it works together. But both get the job done. Some things I need an Apple computer for. For instance, we have Mixmaster G, who was in the chat here, and he has his DJ conversion tool, which is a dope tool to just convert your entire library from Rekordbox to Traktor to Serato to whatever you're using. That's Mac only. There's a couple of other things that are Mac only, like the Algorithm DJ new computer or their new DJ software. That works on my iPad, but it doesn't work on a Windows computer, their newest version. So I need to have a Mac for that. So I want to have both in here. Thank you, Shabu. From Botswana. Dope. Salute. G-Funk Mix, what up? I record in one take. Ain't got time to do all that. One take from me. Yeah, but if you're just doing one take without preparation, that's not a mixtape. That's a live mix. And that's dope. That's dope. But if it's like a one take like that, that's not gonna have that produced feel of like a prepared mixtape or a one track by track recording. Again, nothing wrong with that. And that's how I started out. But at a certain point, I was like, yeah, I want to make sure this sounds as good as it can sound. And you're going to get a better sounding result with a prepared mixtape compared to doing a one take on the spot. So yeah, that's that. And other people didn't agree with that. Some people felt like, no, it has to be exactly how you DJ. So you have to just do a live take. And again, I'll bring up that example. Like artists, when they're live on stage, it doesn't sound the same as their album. Not all the time. Some artists are that great that it sounds absolutely as great as on the album. But a lot of times it won't. Hey, G-Funk Mix, you made the switch. You were on IG and now I see you on Twitch. But from a time perspective, I understand you 1000%. Like preparation will take a lot more time. And for instance, I haven't done mix because I simply don't have the time. And I like all my replays that are on Mixcloud now, the live stream replays, they're all the one take stuff. Yeah. So I feel you. I feel you. All right, so One Rough Rican is back. Yes, so it's the Rain 12 Mark II or PLX 1000 Reloop 8000 Mark II using phase. Okay, simple. For me, at least for me, one thing is simple. If you ever plan to use or play vinyl, then you need to go for turntables. Simple as that. If you know for a fact that you're only going to use DJ software and never vinyl, then the Rain 12s are also a good option. But, big but. Here's the thing. If you go out and play, I don't know if a lot of places will have the Rain 12s or are going to be able to get the Rain 12s. That's what I love about Phase. I can go do any. They have turntables. It doesn't really matter that much which turntables they have. I mean, I want it to be pro turntables, but if the turntables work, I can come in with Phase and play with any turntable, so I don't have to bring a lot of stuff. I've taken my Rain 12s to gigs sometimes, and then I feel like it's back in the days when I'm having to bring like flight cases with mixers and players. So that's the thing. If you get the Rain 12s, then yes, if you just use them at home, then you're good to go and they're great. If you ever want to play vinyl, you can't do that with the Rain 12. And having a DVS system with Phase gives you more options. So a lot of my gigs here in the Netherlands, I will ask if they have turntables, or I put turntables on my rider. And then I'll bring my mixer, whichever mixer I want to use, and Phase. And then I'm good to go. Now, just as a backup, I will have 2 pieces of control vinyl. No, actually, I have 4 in my bag and my needles. So if there's an issue with Phase, I still have my control vinyl and my needles there. So I used the Jetpack, their big bag. I forgot the name. I have the Jetpack bag cut for the portable turntables, and I got that big one. That one, it has that dope. All the way in the back, it has that special compartment right there. So I always have my vinyl with me just in case. So even though I'm playing with Phase, the vinyl is there, and I mean that takes up no space at all. But you have more options. But the Rain 12s feel dope. If you don't mind bringing them to gigs, then that is an option. But then you're carrying around more stuff. But they are really dope. So that's to me is the biggest difference. Carter's here. What up? Salute. A-Sound says the BeatSource Link app is pretty nice. We'll be working with it. Any advice on doing a first Twitch set time length, etc. No, not really. Not really. I'm still figuring that out myself. Like sometimes my sets are 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. I see a lot of DJs going in doing like 5-6 hour sets. I think the best advice when it comes to like streaming is just starting. You need to just start doing it to learn how to do it, get accustomed to it, like the setup, how it is to DJ and have a chat going. You name it. You have to just start doing it at first. There is no, they're not really tools to say like, hey, do it like this, and that means you're gonna have a great stream straight away. You need to just start getting used to it at first. Let's see. How can you get a very good enhanced sound output for streaming? So for me, when I'm streaming, I just take the output from my mixer, and that goes into. Either you let that go into an audio interface. So if you have an audio interface connected to your computer, let it go in there. In my case, my output from my mixer goes into my ATEM Mini Pro. That's my video switcher, my little guy right here. But you just want to make sure that you're getting the output from your mixer, not the sound from speakers. I see some DJs stream and they just have the phone. If it's your only option, it's your only option. But if you only have a phone and using the speakers from the room, that's not going to sound as good as the direct sound from your mixers. So that's definitely where you want to go. Let's see. You need a UFO 202 for live stream. It's RCA to USB to your computer. Well, any audio interface. I don't know what the UFO 202 is. I don't know that one. But like, you just need an audio interface to get the audio into your computer. And audio interfaces are connected to your computer through USB. And it has to be something that has indeed an RCA connection, so you can connect the output from your mixer to that. Okay, that is a very cheap device, by the way. It's a Behringer. The UFO 202. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. Yeah, that's a very cheap one. That's I haven't used that one, but I mean, that is an audio interface. Yeah, that's a sound card. That is very affordable. G-Funk says if you're streaming with a phone, you can use the DJM Rec app. Well, no. Well, I mean, yes, of course you can use it, but only with certain mixers. That only works with a couple of Pioneer mixers. So you need to have the right mixer in order for that to work. I mean, I did a video with the Rec app when it just came out, and I needed to borrow 900 Nexus in this case to make it work, because I had a 900 SRT and that doesn't work. So I needed to get the right mixer. It works with more mixers than that. There's a list on the Pioneer website to tell you which mixers you can use. You can use the Rec app with the DJM V10, the DJM 900 Nexus 2, the DJM 750 Mark II, and the DJM 450 Mark II. But if you're not using one of those mixers, then the Rec app won't work. But it's a great app. Like I tested it and it was really dope for the phone. Oh, okay. So G-Funk Mix says that he did a jailbreak with the app. Wait. Let me. Where's the rest of it? You can use iRig to connect it to any mixer. Yeah, that's iRig, but now we're talking about iRig and not the Rec app, right? Okay, I got you. So you use iRig and then you record with the Rec app, or use the Rec app for streaming. I got you. Okay. But yes, you will need some sort of device like an iRig to get the audio from your mixer to your phone. Yes, indeed. Cool. All right, one more from Carter's here. Bedroom DJ stage. Looking for a decent DJ table. What can I do? IKEA version, custom made. I mean, look, there's a lot you can do. Oh, Vest, by the way, before I continue, like, yes, the curfew has ended. The first month or so, I was actually sleeping in the studio because of the curfew. And then I realized or found out that I could actually, because I'm self-employed, people could get like special waivers from their employer that state that they have a reason to be outside after the curfew for their work. And I found out that self-employed people like myself could actually sign that. So I'm signing it as the employer and employee. So I'm signing it for myself, and I'm working for myself. So the last like month or two, I was out after hours, sometimes in the middle of the night, with permission to be outside. But yes, now I don't have to worry about that anymore. All right, to go back. So, I mean, I've used all sorts of things for tables. Whatever could fit my DJ equipment in the beginning. Now I'm using actually an IKEA table. And it's the table that's right behind me. It's going to be pretty hard for you to... No, actually, you can see it. On IG, you can even see it better. What I like about that table... Let me see if I can show it. It's still a mess from my live stream. That used to be my Snow Dog. What up? That used to be my my studio desk, and the cool thing about this one is this: you have to put in a little work, but still. You get the idea. You can get it all the way down, I think, 70 centimeters all the way up to 120. That's the smaller version, which is more than big enough for a DJ set. And I bought the bigger version, and that's the one I'm using right here, right now. That's my studio desk. So I've done videos where I'm sitting behind my desk streaming. And in this case, I'm... standing. So right now I have it up at like 110 or 120. This is 120 probably, almost at the highest it can get. That's what I really like about this, and they're pretty stable. Before that, I was using a different kind of construction, and you could see it on the old live streams, like everything was like wobbly. So Six, I'm gonna look up the name right now for you, and anyone else who wants to know. Yes, these are from IKEA. So let me just get in here for a sec and look up the name. I mean, again, plenty of tables can work. I like this, and I think the cool thing also for DJs is we're all different sizes, and a lot of tables, if you're a little bit taller, are too low, or if you're pretty short, then a lot of tables might be too high. Card is here. Do turntables fit on it? Look. There's a full set on it right now. All right, let me get the name. Hitchens, what's up? The name is... Come on, huh? Why are you so slow? Okay, the name is Skarsta. And let me get the split screen going for my people. Where is it? Why don't I... Okay. Sorry, guys. So this is the big one. The big one is 199 here in euros. The smaller one, which is not small. The smaller one was 149. Skarsta, that's what it's called. So yeah. So the small one is already big enough to fit 2 turntables and a mixer. Now I have the turntables in the battle position. I think they would probably just fit if you put them in a normal position. I'm not even sure. So, okay, that's confirmed. Even in a normal position, they still fit with a little bit of room to spare on the side. And plenty of room behind it. So, yeah, I'm really happy with that one. The studio one is a lot taller. It's deeper, so I can fit more on it. It's also broader, wider, because I just needed more room. I used it at my studio desk, and it could hardly fit. Like, if I want to have a machine on the table and the Roadcaster Pro and a keyboard and my audio interface, it just started to feel way too crowded. So this is a lot better option, in my opinion. Now, of course, you have tables that can do the automatic or the motorized height change. That's going to be more expensive, most likely. I don't mind putting in a little work to change it. All right. Looking at buying 1970s DJ console. I have a slave jack plug socket and speaker jack sockets. Want to run DVS with a Denon DS1. Ooh, I don't know. I have no idea if that will work. No, I don't know. Change the Hitchens position. What you mean of the turntables? So changing the turntables the way I had them first, what we call the battle position, is what we used to do because of the tone arm and needle getting in the way for scratching. So let me see if you can see that. You're on this one. You can see it as well. So, okay. Let me just raise it so it's a little closer to the cam. Get it back up again. I'll bring it up even higher. Let's see. Yep. All right, is that close enough? Yes, it is. So, okay. If you're scratching, your tone arm and needle is here. That light will take a second, but it should give us some more light. Your needle and tone arm are here. So if you're scratching here, you're perfectly fine, because the tone arm and needle are here. So you won't reach that. But on this side, your needle and tone arm are there. So if you're scratching, you come closer to that needle and tone arm. When you change that position, now you're never in the way of the tone arm and needle because they're on that side. Same thing here. That tone arm and needle are all the way over there, and you're there. So, yeah. So that really helps out. So I hope you could actually hear. I mean, IG can hear, I know, because you're catching the mic from the phone. So I don't know how well you heard that, but I think you got that. Be Illy, what up? Which one is better, WAV file or MP3? I mean, WAV file will give you a higher quality audio file, that's for sure. But if you use MP3, I mean, MP3 will work just fine. I use MP3 most of the times. The thing is, your WAV files will take up so much more space, like a lot more. And I have not found the need to do that. Like MP3 at 320, it worked fine for me. Again, I see the video requests on IG. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Capitula, what up? Alles goed? Code Noir, what's good? What's good? Sugar Hill. If you're a left-hand DJ, how can you make the right hand match what the left hand is doing? Practice, a lot of practice, a lot of practice. Juggernaut, I appreciate that follow. I see you. It's a lot of practice. And I mean, every one of us will have a stronger and weaker hand. You know, there's only a couple of DJs that are really totally ambidextrous and can do everything with both hands. Like Qbert is one of those aliens that can do everything with every hand on every fader. For most of us, we will have a dominant hand. I'm right-handed, but still, for me, it's a little bit different. Some scratches I do with the right hand on the platter. Other scratches I have to do with my right hand on the fader. So I do different scratches on different sides on the different decks. But I want to get better with my left hand, so I need to start putting in the time and practice. That's really what it takes. Just putting in the practice. Nidzam from Malaysia. Salute. I see you. And my favorite place to get audio files. So the DJ pool I use right now is DJ City, and I use BeatSource a lot now for DJing, using their BeatSource link subscription. Sorry, really like that. So you can look into that as well. Let me get that up for a sec. And put that on split. Again, IG, you can see it. This is BeatSource, and they have a ton of music you can buy. But if you have their BeatSource link subscription, then you can use all of their music, stream it into your DJ software, which is something I really like. But I download from BeatSource, from DJ City. That's the DJ pool I use. Curtis here says, I plan to record my first mix this fall. No mentor whatsoever. Which DAW is good for starters? So DAW, to record a mix, I mean, most will work just fine. If you want a free one, you can use Audacity. Audacity is free, and that works really well. Like if it's just recording, like you don't need an entire DAW with all of its features to record a mix. You can do that on any like audio editing software. Audacity is free, so that's a good place to start. I use a bunch of different ones. I've used Audacity. I use Audition for recording as well, and my main DAW now is Studio One. But I've also spent a lot of time in Cubase. Use that a lot of time for recording. Logic also. And they all work. But if you want to start somewhere right now for free, Audacity is one of the free pieces of software you could get. DJ related online. Let's see. Cool. Okay. Philip, what up? All right. On your opinion, what mixer is the best? That is a question that can't be answered like that. There are so many different mixers with so many different purposes, and that really depends on what you need. There's not one best mixer. There just isn't. It really depends on what you need. For some people, for instance, a Pioneer DJM 900 Nexus 2 will be the best mixer. And then some will come in and say my Allen and Heath mixer is much better because the audio quality is better. And then I come in and I say I don't care about any of those because I need a scratch mixer. So I want my S9 or I want my 72. So there's no best. There's a lot of good mixers out there. So you can use a lot of them. And then it depends on what your budget is. Okay, let's see. So Marco something. This is like the 5th time you came in with the video request, so I don't understand what's not coming through. I'm not taking videos in here, so no video requests during this live stream. So I'm sorry. I mean, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but that's not what I'm doing now. I've been DJing for 28 years now. So a question now, how long I've been DJing? Yeah, 28 years now. So that's quite a long time. Pandemic aside, which way of promotion do you recommend to get your name out there? I think right now live streaming is incredible. Once things open up more, you need to get out there and network. But right now, live streaming is a great tool, but still networking. And networking online is something that can be done right now as well. You have to be active online and people need to see you. And that doesn't mean that you need to go into every chat and every reply and just spam. You just actively have to be there. Do DJ pools really have all the tracks you're looking for? No. I'm hesitant to subscribe to a site thinking they might not have newer tracks. So first off, a lot of the DJ pools, you can actually see what they're offering, I believe. And let's be honest, your subscription, you can subscribe for a month and end your subscription. And for most of those DJ pools, that's like $20, maybe 30. And you're guaranteed to find a bunch of music you will like. So why not just try it out for a month? Take a look at some of these DJ pools. See if they have, if you see some names that make you feel like, okay, that sounds like it could be what I'm looking for. And try it out for a month. So King Analog, yeah, I feel you. That's the thing. Like if someone is looking for instance, for that, if they're looking for the best analog sound, or you might want someone that will tell you like, hey, this rotary mixer, like the one by Rain, I forgot the name, that's the mixer you need because it's perfect for them. I mean, a rotary mixer is not for me. I want my faders, you know? So it's so different for each and every one of us. Eclair mixers as well, I remember those. Surround, I appreciate that subscription. Much love. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's going to be different for a lot of people out there. Like, hey, this is the best mixer. And I remember when I loved the Pioneer mixers, those were my favorite club mixers, like the 900s, and before that the 800s, and before that the 600s. But like audio quality-wise, they were not as good as some other mixers. But yeah. And now, I mean... yes, the 900. I know my way around the 900. I've played in it in clubs so many times. Love it, but it doesn't compare to my S9 or 72 for me. Surround, that's dope. Listening on the ride home. Much love, and from Miami. Yeah, I still need to visit that. I haven't been there yet. So Toronto is on my list. Miami is also on my list. 1000%. Some DJ pools restrict you from rejoining, especially if you cancel after a month or two. Then you shouldn't mess with those DJ pools. I mean, I've done that before, like subscribe and cancel. That's bad business for them if that's how they roll. Yeah. Some people don't scratch, only mix music. Can we call it DJing? Sorry, I'm still new to this industry. Sorry for the broken English. Oh, that's all good. Hey, this is a global thing right here. And for a lot of us, English is not our native language. And I mean, some people might not hear that when I'm speaking or not hear it as clearly, but this is my second language. This is not my first language. And I totally understand. No problem. The answer is yes. You can definitely call people who mix music and don't scratch DJs. DJing is not scratching. For me, it is a part of DJing coming from hip-hop. For a hip-hop DJ, I mean, I would almost go as far as to say if you're a hip-hop DJ, you should at least know how to scratch. At least a little bit. But, yeah, the most important thing is still song selection and rocking that crowd. Being able to know how to scratch is a plus, and it's dope. It's a lot of fun. I do it because it is so much fun, but that is not a must to be called a DJ. And I try to stay away from that, as by the way, like, hey, you have to be this or that to be a DJ. Nah. Pusha J says you're not going to want to leave Miami. But I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. And that's not especially for Miami, but just for the States. And I used to be in love with the States. And I remember my first time there was magic. My first time there, I visited Philly and New York. And that was just mind-blowing to me. Like seeing actually like breathing hip hop just on the street. But if I compare how things are taken care of here in the Netherlands compared to the States and the total state of affairs, I do prefer it here. I think things are taken care of a little bit better over here. We don't have to worry about a lot of the nature disasters you have to worry about. I think for me, the U.S. is a great place to visit. I just don't know if I want to live there. Like Amsterdam is that's my home. I've been around the world. I've seen quite a few places, beautiful places, but still, yeah. Maybe most people will say this about their birthplace, but yeah, this is it for me. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to visit all those places and maybe make some of those places I want to visit often. How do I connect both Mac laptops, one with Serato and the other with OBS? Okay, so you're using your Mac laptop for DJing, one of your laptops, and the other one to stream, right? My audio went out. Not sure. Oh no. Surround. I'm actually reading your question right now. Okay, so the chat needs to help you out. So Surround can't hear the audio. So chat. If someone's in the chat right now who's using two laptops, maybe you can explain it to Surround. But at the end of the day, you're using one laptop for DJing and the other one you're using with OBS to stream. So the output from your mixer needs to go into the laptop that has OBS. So you're going to need some sort of audio interface on the laptop that has OBS on it to capture the audio from the mixer. That is really what it's all about. That's how I normally do it as well. Like if I'm DJing with the laptop and I'm using Serato or whatever I'm using, then the output from my mixer goes into an audio interface or a capture device on the other computer. Cold Noir says, forget USA, come to France. Oh, I've been to France many times. Yes. And then we got Italy. I went to Italy last year. Yep. T-Rel Mix. Salute for the follow right there. I've been in this industry and only play EDM and house, so I never learned how to scratch. Some people are judging me. F those people. So I want to know your opinion. And yes, thanks for that. Cheers. Yeah. Never worry about people's opinion, by the way. That is so not important. Like really, it will make your life a lot easier if you don't worry about other people's opinions. Yeah. And then we got DJ Jam here. Spricht du Deutsch? Ja, ein bisschen. Aber nicht gut. Trying to think of more things to say. I mean, I can understand quite a bit, especially because Dutch and German, a lot of the words sound the same or are close. Some words are totally different then again. But yeah, I definitely understand a little bit and I can speak a little bit, but I haven't done that in a long time. So let's say if I'm in Germany for like a week or two, I know a lot of words will start to come back, and before you know it, I'm not speaking German in any type of fluent way, but I'll be able to get a little conversation going. But yeah, I can understand a bit. If I hear people speak German, or if I see it written down, I can probably understand a lot. But yeah, again, like other people's opinions are just not important unless you want a professional opinion of someone who is an expert in the field you need an opinion on. So we got DJ A Sound here saying "Ein Bier bitte." So now we're gonna get some cross-platform language going on here. So Surround, I just mentioned real quick, you need to make sure that the audio, the output from your mixer, from your 72, that needs to get into the computer that has OBS on there. So you're going to need some sort of audio interface to capture that audio from your 72. Because the 72 is already connected to your other MacBook where you have your DJ software. So now the output, the audio output from the mixer needs to get into that OBS computer. So just maybe like the one that was mentioned here before, I think it was the UFO 202 by Behringer. That was like $22 or something like that. That's an audio interface, and that will get the sound into that computer. Earl, alles goed? Ja man, hier wel, zeker. DJ Mok. Shout out. Yo, remember when I said I was going to do 10 more minutes? That's 50 minutes ago. Yeah, I do have to call it quits, by the way. I still have to clean up the studio from the all vinyl session we did. So I have to fix a bunch of stuff here. So let's do like one or two more. Let's see. What's that? Rick Rush, salute. And DJ Smooth, I see you. I just don't have a lot of time for feedback on if it's, for instance, on mixes. I always like to do it, but I hardly have enough time to like check out mixes. That's what I've just noticed. Like even when I told people like, hey, cool, send me a link. And then I found out like 2 weeks later, I still haven't even looked at the link just because of a lack of time. Brand Beyond, I see you. Okay, Moke. Just started to learn how to play with vinyl. Can I send you some questions? Ja man, stuur man. Geen probleem. Je kan me gewoon een DM sturen man. Of een DM of een e-mail. STK@djtlm.com. Maar doe gewoon de DM. BSMC, what up? All right, so one more. How to overcome nervousness before a big stage performance. I'm worrying if I make mistakes during live. So you already hit the nail on the head right there. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just know that you're going to make mistakes because it will happen. And that's okay. Once you get beyond that, once you stop worrying about that, it will make your life so much easier. It will take away a lot of the stress already, you know, because I understand for a lot of people, that's what they're going to worry about. Like, oh, I don't want to mess up, especially if it's like a bigger stage. I don't want to mess up. I want to make sure everything is perfect. It's not. Unless you're coming out with like a totally prepared mix from start to finish and you practice that 1,000 times, then maybe you're going to play a set that is quote unquote perfect, but most likely you will still have little things go wrong. And I just wanted to say, and Barkowal just said it, most people won't notice the mistakes. And that's something I had to learn in the beginning because I was doing mixes and I would bring in a new track and the volume was just a little bit too high. I was like, damn it. They don't notice that. The snares were not aligned for maybe a bar or two until I adjusted it. To me, that sounded like I made a mistake. I brought it in and it wasn't perfect. They don't hear that. I've even made a little bigger mistakes and the crowd is still not really noticing that or caring about that at all. So that is something you should not worry about. First Noah, what up? So I would say make sure you come as prepared as possible. So know how the setup is going to be, know what the party is about, what type of music are they expecting, so you know what to bring. If you're bringing your own equipment, make sure you communicate ahead of time. Can they fit your equipment? All of that. If they have equipment there that you have to play on, but you haven't played on that before, do your research so you know where everything is on the equipment, so you won't get any surprises. So you need to be prepared for what is expected, what is there, all of that. But most importantly, you come there to have fun, and you're going to make mistakes, and a lot of mistakes won't even be noticed. But even if you make a bigger mistake, if you bring in a new track after that, the crowd will forget in a couple of seconds. So go for it and have fun. That's it. Yeah, BSMC. I'm here every Wednesday. But you can see the entire replays of this on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Mixcloud won't have a replay yet, an audio replay. So for all the people on IG Live as well, if you want to actually see some of the way it looks on the other platforms, make sure you just go check that out, and you can see the replays there. So for now, Shiva and all the people coming in, I appreciate y'all joining me. Great to see y'all going at it in the chat. DJ Knowledge on Mixcloud as well. He occupied that entire chat by himself and still left like 20 messages there. I appreciate all of you on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Mixcloud, and right here on IG Live. I'm here every Wednesday. BSMC just subscribed, so special shout out to you. I appreciate that support to the fullest, so much love for that. Here every Wednesday with this show, and if you want to see me mix live, I'm on Mixcloud and Twitch every Monday with my show called Crates. And if you want to know more about BeatSource Link, I'm playing with music from BeatSource this coming edition. So come check me out. Make sure you follow me on at least a couple of those platforms so you won't miss out. SMC, come check that out as well. And again, I appreciate all of the love and the chat. I wish there was a way we could get the IG chat in with the rest so y'all could talk to each other as well, because a lot of people are helping each other out. So I hope at a certain point there will be a way to connect all of these chats in one place. I tried Yellow Duck for Instagram to get it working, to stream from Restream to that, but it's not working yet. I'll get it to work one day. Yuya, I see you as well. So yeah, hope to see all of you soon. I'm going to hit the stream ending on this one. IG, I'm going to say goodbye to you right now. Thanks for tuning in. And no, I'm not going to invite anyone here. And I can invite Toby. Or maybe I can, but no, not now. This stream is over. Much love. IG, lobby. All right, let me just quickly end that one. Let's see. 812 people viewed your video live. Okay, that's a lot of people probably who jumped in and out, because I only saw like 12 to 20 people. But okay, that's all good. Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure for me to do that, also to talk to new DJs. So I understand, like, a lot of times you will receive questions that you've received before, but that's something I've learned a long time ago. Like, a lot of people haven't heard things or haven't seen things, so it's always good to repeat certain things. And yeah, it is a lot of fun to me. So all right, I'm a fade to black. See y'all soon. Much love.